Buckets. Hello and welcome in to episode 52 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. Before we get into it today, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, make sure to leave 5 stars, and on either platform, share it with everyone, everywhere, in every way that you know how. Episode 52. So if we did this once a week, this would be a year, but it's about a year and 3 months. We're starting like July, so we're a little behind the pace here. But how are you doing today, Dom? Episode 52 on this Monday evening, random day of the
Yeah,
week.
no, I'm doing good. That's actually really funny to think about that. We've been doing this already a year and 3 months, and we've gotten to a year now if it's going to
Right.
be weekly. But life happens. Episode 52, Lou Dort, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, smacking those two together. Boom.
Okay. Let's get into it.
I'm doing good. I had a great day today. I had a sick day from work, and I went to the beach, and I just chilled on the beach, went swimming, read a book, and wrote some music and stuff. So that was really fun.
Your boss is going to
And
be so unhappy when they listen to this.
well, he's in Brazil, so hey, shout out, boss.
Thank
Hope
God they don't have Spotify in Brazil.
Thank God they don't believe in it there. But no, I'm good. I have a gig Friday. I'm super excited about, and then yeah, that's about it. Getting it ready for the week. So much news has happened. So
A lot of news.
a lot of that kind of stuff too. Media days and all that too. So you're getting excited for the season. How have you been?
I'm in good as well. Busy, busy as always. I actually had a gig yesterday, last night.
Nice.
Um, at a reopening place here in Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the only bass drum to go. Only one who signed up, only one who went. And I carried the bass drum section by myself. I had to know all the songs. I had to know how to play the bass for all of them because I didn't have other people to like reference this. I've only been playing for like almost 2 months, I think. So
Yeah.
it was stressful, but got a lot of support from my other percussion members. A lot of praise, and it was fun. I did well, all things considered.
I'm glad to hear that. I have no doubt you got good rhythm. And I know you keep going to practices and stuff, so I'm glad to hear it. If there's any clips into my way, please, 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 please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If
I
I
want to see you banging away.
I got I don't know if you're familiar with the jump in the line. But there's parts of that song where like it's like they're playing the song and then it stops and it's just one instrument has like a solo 4 count. And they gave one to me, so that was cool. So I was just like,
Jump, jump in the line. What's
jump in
that
the
song?
line, move your body on time.
Oh, that
Yeah,
song. You mean the Beetlejuice? Wait, no, that's a different song. Maybe that is the same song.
it's
Anyways,
been years since I've seen Beetlejuice, so I couldn't tell you.
I think it isn't it, but jump in the line, rock your body in time.
Yeah,
What was your
yeah, yeah.
bass drum solo? Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
I
boom.
actually just used my right arm though. I hit it like really hard on like the 4 count.
Yeah,
That was cool.
nice, nice, dude. Long glad the gig went well, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't know what our next one is, but it's been going well.
Yeah. Well, I would have to say one of my highlights of this weekend is something we'll talk about soon, but it's when you called me. But we'll get into that in a little bit. That was a
Okay.
fun highlight. Hello, who is this? But yeah, what shirt you wearing?
Black
Just
History Month, even though it's Hispanic Heritage Month. Black History Rocket shirt and my Summer League hat. I guess I'm doubling up today. So
love the Summer League hat, of
yeah.
course.
What about
And
you? What do you have on?
rock. I'm just rocking my New Orleans
That's a
Pelicans
terrible
shirt.
shirt.
I like it. I like it.
Why is
I
the whole
actually,
pelican red?
it's not red. It's black. I don't know if you can tell.
I mean, yeah, but like, why didn't they color the rest of the
Oh, like
pelican?
color it in. Oh, okay, okay. I see. Oh, I see. The Pelican is red, actually. No, I actually think this is one of the ones that they give out. I think the ones they give out for free also always have like an ad on the sleeve.
Ah, yes.
So I got this for like $2, but it's a comfortable shirt. I
So
like
someone
it.
go to a Pelicans game in New Orleans and then sell that shirt to you on Depop?
No, no, actually, I bought this at Goodwill. So someone
Oh, okay.
went to a game in New Orleans, came to LA and said, "Why do I have this shirt?" and threw it in a Goodwill pile. Um, no,
I
yeah,
saw
this
an
like
ad for Depop the other day on YouTube. I was like, oh, there it
oh,
is.
there it is. I just sold a UCLA sweatshirt I've had that doesn't fit me anymore. So hey, I'm
Sad.
making moves, making money moves. So
Making money moves as we do.
yeah, I made $7 from that. So
Oh
that's
my
pretty cool.
goodness me.
I'm gonna have to. This pod's about to blow up, dude.
Yeah. But all that in the advertising of this pod.
Dude, you have no idea how much money I would put into this pod if I could. I would put so much money. But yeah, I so much news has been going on, so let's just dive into it. Let's start. I think we're gonna start WNBA.
WNBA, yeah. I'll start
Tell me a
off
little bit.
with Dallas Wings forward Sato, not sure. Sabali named WNBA's most improved player. She averaged career highs of 18.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 4.4 assists, and 1.8 steals this season. Last season, it was 11.3 points, 4.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and half a steal. So,
That's literally at least for most of those stats, like twice as much. She's
yeah, it's a
twice as
7 point jump, a little over 3 rebounds, double the assist, and triple the steals.
triple
So,
the steal. That's actually insane.
good
Wow.
season.
Were the Dallas Wings good? I don't even remember.
I have no idea.
Probably
They didn't
not.
make the playoffs, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I just see that. I could see that. Yeah. Anyway, so congrats to
I think
her.
they
That's
have
cool.
Arike Ogumbawale on there.
Oh, I don't know who that is. Cool. That's cool. I know the names. Like I keep hearing, like I've heard. I think it's Satu Sabale. I keep
Okay.
hearing that. Yeah. And here's another name I've been hearing. Minnesota Lynx center Nafisa Collier was named WNBA's Defensive Player of the Year. She averaged 9.7 rebounds, 1.9 steals, and 1.4 blocks this season. And they're still in the playoffs. They are currently in the semifinals. So we're gonna go over the whole playoff update, but we could probably start with like at least the semifinals right now. So it's New York Liberty, Las Vegas Aces,
Yeah, Liberty up
and
1-0.
Liberty up by one, and then Minnesota Lynx and Connecticut Sun up by one.
Yeah.
And I just looked at right before this pod, we I looked at tickets for the Aces because Vegas isn't too far from LA.
Yeah.
I could go see a WNBA semifinal playoff game for $19.
That's like the service fee for a Lakers game.
Yeah, and it's actually less than the service fee for a Lakers game. And I can't go Friday because I have a gig, but maybe I don't know. I don't have a lot of money, but maybe Sunday I could go. It's a 5 game series, so if that's the game where like the Liberty win, it would be cool to go
Right.
see that. So that'd be Sunday at noon. So
Would
it's
you
totally plausible to leave in the morning and then come back.
would you have to get would you like want to go with someone? I feel like that's a
I
bad trip to make by yourself.
I wouldn't want to do it alone.
Yeah.
I when I drove to Vegas back after when I left Summer League, I was so tired. I almost fell asleep driving because at night, especially, it's like just barren nothing. So
Yeah, not ideal.
yeah, and
Just
also
move
I'd
them
be
closer
up really
together.
early. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Or you know what? Work remotely while driving on in the morning Monday.
No, I meant just move Vegas and LA close to each other. Like just
Yeah,
just erase that desert in between and
you know what? I'm sure an earthquake will have it fall down and we'll just push it together at some point. But anyways, that's the WNBA update. I tried to watch the game yesterday, but I
couldn't because our
couldn't.
legal
So
sites were down.
because our totally illegal sites are down. Yep.
Yeah, so the Liberty beat the Dream 2-0, the Aces beat the Storm 2-0, the Lynx beat the Mercury 2-0, and the Sun beat the Fever 2-0.
I didn't even notice that. So it's all been sweeps so far.
Yeah, no, no. I also thought this was interesting. I wanted to bring this up to you. In the first
Yeah.
round series, because they're best of three, the
Yeah.
first two games are home games.
Yeah. So
Isn't that
every home team won. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
yeah, but like it goes home, home, away. That's like the order of how they play their games. It's not every other game. It's they play the
I
first two games at home and then the last game is away.
I get it because
Just
you
strange.
it's because I get like the higher seed's supposed to have some kind of home court advantage. So if you
Yeah.
do home away home, it's like barely home court advantage, even though it's still, I mean, I don't
Also,
like it, but
they I think you asked this question a while ago in the pod. They don't do East West. It's just
I
top eight based on winning
uh
percent.
oh, is it really?
Yeah.
That's so they just
Just the
kind of
best eight teams. Throw it in there.
I don't like that as much. But you know what? That's just because I don't like change. But that's a personal problem, and I got to get over that myself.
And then yeah,
Um,
the semifinals and the finals, those are best of five, and that's 2-2-1. So
Yeah,
kind of very normal.
and the finals is best of five as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I looked it up and I noticed you have it in the notes. So, um, yeah, I was thinking about that because Liberty and Aces, I was like, oh, it's East and West when they meet in the finals, but I already saw that in the semifinals, so that makes sense that it's just kind of snakes,
Yeah.
not snakes. It's just best of eight.
How many
Anyways,
teams are in the WNBA? There's not that many, right?
I think 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say 12, but
Yeah, when they're expanding, so they're doing
yeah,
Golden
yeah, yeah.
State. I should have included it here. They're also expanding in Toronto and Portland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I forgot to add it, but I remembered that. So they don't have names or anything yet. It's going to be like 2 years from now,
Gotcha.
but they did announce that.
The
So pretty
the
cool.
Portland Trailblazers too.
2.2. Then it'll be the Portland Blazer Trails.
Oh,
Oh, pretty cool, pretty cool.
they're
I
actually just
hope
the Portland Trails.
I really that's not bad. Actually
That's
really hope
bad. That's
it's
very
it's
bad.
it's it's not what I was thinking about today, a little unrelated, how bad of a name Cleveland Browns is for a team.
Oh
Just
yeah.
have to say.
There's like
Um,
a whole, I looked into the whole like why they're called that, and there's a whole story behind it.
we'll talk
It's like
offline
named
about that.
after a coach that used to be there. It was a different name, and then they
Yeah,
renamed after a coach. I don't know, stupid.
this is a color, but I
It's
really
just,
hope it's just a color.
and their uniforms are
Like,
orange
oh,
and brown.
I forgot.
Like most
Yeah.
disgusting color combination.
Also, that reminds me, Cincinnati Reds, also terrible name. So, but better than Browns because red, at least there's some character to it. Anyways, all that to say, I really hope the Toronto WNBA team is a dinosaur as well.
Mm,
Instead of raptors like Rexes. That doesn't sound good.
no, it doesn't.
Stegosauruses.
Nope.
You got there's a good one out there. There definitely is.
The Toronto Triceratops is.
See, yeah, it has to it has to be able to do plural.
I can't have another syllable in the end there.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll let you know, Toronto WNBA. We'll
We
let
know
you
you're looking
know.
for names.
Yeah. Shall we dive right into the NBA now?
Into the NBA, starting with Lester Quinones signing a two-way deal with the 76ers. You know who that is? You know who Lester Quinones is?
I know the name. That's it.
Can you tell me what team he was on?
Warriors?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He was
right.
the, he was the
Yeah.
guy that got in a fight
Yeah.
with Grant Williams. Remember that?
Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, I do. It was Hornets Warriors, right?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. It was like the end of the game. I
Yeah, it was
remember
so
that.
stupid.
Yeah, I remember Quinones is a very unique name, and
And who
it's
who
I've
were they
heard it a lot.
replacing him with over there in Golden State?
What position is he?
I don't know. Probably a guard, I think.
They're replacing him with Kevin Knox, who signed a 1 year deal with the Warriors. Thank you for setting me up. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what they
how
call
many
us
teams
a
has Kevin Knox?
Segu.
Yeah, how many teams has Kevin Knox been on?
Is this like a quiz right now?
Yeah,
You gonna
I'm
quiz
asking
me?
you.
Do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this would be his fourth team.
I actually don't know. I was messing with you. I thought it was his third team.
I think he's been on the
This I can
Knicks,
find
the
out.
Hawks. That could be a lie, and
Pistons.
the Pistons. Yeah,
Okay. I was thinking maybe the Hawks, but I could not remember exactly.
drafted to
He
the
has
Knicks,
been
wore a
on
Fortnite jacket.
the Knicks, Hawks, Pistons, Portland.
Damn.
He was just recent. It was last year was no, the year before was
How many games
Portland.
you play on Portland?
Game. I don't know what these mean. What does G mean? Games.
Yep.
21.
Yeah. Okay.
Game started 4. He
Oh,
started
started
four
four
games.
games. Wow.
What the hell?
I certainly wasn't super tuned into Portland basketball last year,
No, 2 years ago I was not.
or two
Absolutely
years
not.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
last year.
I don't know if you know this, but he was drafted in 2018, I think, 2019.
Pretty high, right?
Yeah, like seventh overall by the Knicks, and he wore a Fortnite jacket on draft day. The whole inside when you opened it was like Fortnite.
I did not know
Bad.
that. I hate that. I
Look it
don't
up.
like
It's
him
a great
anymore.
picture.
And now he's on the Warriors, so that's
I
that.
like him less because
Um,
the Warriors.
Tell me about another guy who got picked really high.
Yeah, I'll tell you about former number three overall pick Jahlil Okafor, who has agreed to a training camp deal with the Pacers. You know who Jahlil Okafor is?
I know the name. That's about it.
You know where he was drafted number three overall?
I'm gonna say it was the Raptors.
I'll give you a hint. This team went through a procedure of drafting a lot of picks as they tanked for years and years and years,
Thunder.
and it even got its own nickname.
Thunder?
Nope, they call it the
Horn.
process.
Oh, the 76ers?
Yeah, he was a process pick. He was picked like 2 years before Embiid. Um,
Oh, I thought it was like recent. I didn't
no.
know it was like okay, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, he just went out of the league
Interesting.
because maybe it was 2 years after Embiid, but he was out of the league because he's like a 90s center. He's just like in the post, post
Oh, that
guard.
isn't, yeah.
That's all he does, but he's really good at it, but it just didn't fit well in today's NBA. But he was last year in
But do the
2021, and
Pacers,
now he's back.
yeah, but do the Pacers need, I don't understand that
I
because
mean,
they
a
already have
training
Miles
camp deal,
Turner, James Wiseman, Isaiah Jackson.
he will probably never play. This is just like
Okay.
show us what you got.
But I mean, like, yeah, yeah, I want them to play. You know what I mean? I don't know, I don't know. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it is
maybe I
what it
should stop
is.
putting all these super obscure deals. I don't know, they're kind of funny to me.
No, 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 no. I enjoy him because then maybe I'll see him play. And like I remember he was the former number 3 overall pick. And everyone else who listens to this will know too.
All three
Anyways,
pieces,
on to people that we definitely know.
right?
Jose Alvarado. Oh, I didn't even think there was a connection. Boom, New Orleans Pelicans. Jose Alvarado has agreed to a 2-year, $9 million extension with the Pelicans with a player option for the 26-27 season. I thought this was a pretty team-friendly deal,
Yeah,
considering I feel
it's
like
a good
he could
contract.
probably get, yeah, I feel like he could get more elsewhere.
Minimum's like 2 million now, so it's like feels like barely double the minimum, right? 4.5 million.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
yeah. So good for the Pelicans. Good deal. Good for him.
Undrafted free agent.
Yeah, so it's really cool. His story is pretty cool,
Yeah.
and happy to see that he's very good
Who's
for the
the best
Pelicans.
undrafted player of all time?
Best undrafted player of all time will have to be, um, I don't know.
I think it's John Starks, but I could be wrong. He was on the 90s
Okay,
Knicks that made the finals.
yeah, I know the
Fred
name.
VanVleet. He's probably up there.
Was he really that undrafted? Like,
Fred VanVleet?
wh- when I think undrafted, does undrafted mean okay?
He wasn't picked in the draft. That's what undrafted means.
No, I know, but then you get in the league eventually, so it's like,
Yeah,
doesn't mean
by
you
either
have
like
to.
going through the G League or getting signed somewhere. Like you declare for the draft, you just don't get picked.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. I guess that makes sense then. Fred VanVleet's a good one. I totally forgot he was undrafted.
All-star champion.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Who
Another
else got
player
some? Yeah.
that got an extension. One of your homies, Terrence Mann, a 3-year, $47 million extension with the Clippers. That'll take him to the 2027-2028 season. So, 15, 16 million a year. What do you think about that? You think that's good for Terrence Mann over there in LA, the face of
Um,
the
I,
new Clippers?
I mean, I like Terrence Mann a lot, considering what the Clippers have done and what they're doing. So like, 3 year, 47 million. What is that like? 18 million? That sounds
It's
about
like
right to
15,
me.
16. I said that, but you weren't listening. So
Sorry, yeah, I was too busy looking something up. I apologize.
are you quizzing me again?
Um, no, I would never do that because I quiz you without having answers. If I quiz you, I won't look up the answers first. I'll look it up after I ask. I don't plan ahead.
That's fair.
No, but I like it for Terrence Mann. I think, if we're looking at the Clippers roster, like your best player is James Harden, and then I mean you can say Norman
Well, your
Powell
best
because
player is
six man of
Kawhi
the
Leonard,
year.
but you know,
Oh, sorry. I mean like who's gonna start the season? Excuse me, sorry. Kawhi
yeah,
Leonard, James Harden, um, Norman Powell, Ivica Zubac, and then Terrence Mann. He's like in your top five.
yeah,
So definitely worth it. He wouldn't if he wouldn't get that, he would get that money somewhere else. So
yeah. That's about what he's worth, I would say.
yeah,
That's
I
the
like
thing
him.
though with Jose Alvarado. $10 million less? Probably not. I feel like Jose
Mm,
Alvarado could have signed this contract and I would have been like, oh yeah,
yeah. No, I agree. I feel like he's more like a 10 or 11 million, but still. Um
good value.
and Terrence, yeah, good Terrence man. Happy for him. I'll see him hooping in Santa Monica still, hopefully. We'll see.
Keep going back to that
Uh,
same gym.
yeah, I
Is he
mean, just keep
here?
even though it's like 57 minutes away from me, it's just like so far away. You want to talk about this next thing because I know you have a bit more personal
Yeah.
ties.
Podcast legend. Zach Lowe, the Low Post is what his podcast is because Zach Lowe, great podcast name, was laid off apparently by ESPN I just saw like one very obscure post about it, and I was like, "What? That doesn't seem real." But then like, Kenny of Numbers on the Board reposted it, and then the whole trade and stuff happened that we're gonna get into, and like if Zach Lowe still had a podcast, there would already be a podcast about it. So I'm like, okay, I guess it
Yeah,
is. So it's sad. He was really, really good. He's one of the only people at ESPN that I like a lot because he doesn't do what everyone else does. He's not like, oh, I talk about the Lakers 47 times or like, this thing a bunch. He just talks about like actual basketball, and I feel like his basketball knowledge was pretty good and personality was good. Good podcast. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if he's gonna go somewhere else. Hopefully. Sucks.
yeah. Is this was Woj on ESPN too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is, I mean, Woj retired. He
they're
didn't get
killing
laid
everyone.
off, but yeah, they're slowly getting rid of everyone who knows too much. No, I listened to some of Zach Lowe's stuff, and I enjoyed it for the same reasons you said. Not really a fan of much other basketball podcasts. I don't really listen to that many.
Me neither.
Um, but I've been kind of getting back into Numbers on the Board just because
Yeah.
like basketball's picking up and I'm like driving around and I want to like listen to something. But it sucks to see that because Zach Lowe's a name like I know and people know and people like. Like I don't know if there's stuff behind the scenes maybe why he got laid off, but I'm sure he'll find a home somewhere because like you said, like he's a very good basketball minded uh podcaster in person.
Go to
He
the
knows a lot.
Ringer.
Hmm? Who do they have now? I don't even know.
The Ringer, they got a lot of podcasts over there. I listen to Group Chat. That's really the one I like from their
Gotcha. Oh,
podcast.
isn't Paul George with the Ringer or something?
Austin
I don't
Rivers.
know.
He's with the
Oh,
Ringer.
Austin. Okay, that's maybe what I'm thinking of. On to someone else. So I mentioned Woj retired. Here's someone else who's retiring from the NBA. This is big. This was big.
Big.
Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose. We talked about this last time. We were like, oh, he, got waived by the Grizzlies. He'll probably find somewhere. Again, maybe the Bulls, just like be on the bench, kind of like a
But apparently
pers-
wanted to get waived.
yeah,
He like
yeah. I
asked to
was
get waived.
Yeah, I was reading that too. So yeah, Derrick Rose is retiring from the NBA after 15 seasons. Here's some quotes that we pulled. The next chapter is about chasing my dreams and sharing my growth. I believe true success comes from becoming who you were created to be, and I want to show the world who I am beyond basketball. Whether good or bad, everyone has a what if story in their life. Even if I could, I wouldn't change anything in mine because it's what helped me find real joy. So obviously, I think that what if is, he tore his Achilles, and he's still the youngest MVP ever, and
22.
led the Bulls. Yeah, it's crazy. Led the Bulls to 7 game series against the defending champions. Lost, but this was back in 2009, I think. And yeah, I think it was
Took
because
uh
they
took
won
some LeBron
2008.
Heat teams to some very competitive series as well.
Yeah, so really really iconic player, one of the bigger stars that, I really defined like that generation of basketball players, like kind of like late and because I feel like during that time people were still like, there was the Kobe's, LeBron's, Dwayne Wade's, all that, but then he was the leader of like the next wave
I feel like he was like the
of
first
NBA
super
stars.
athletic point guard.
That too. I mean, like some of the stuff you see him do, like you still don't see other people do. Um, and it's crazy. I actually, what's insane is I was thinking about this earlier today. I don't think I've ever watched a full game of Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Like in the Bulls. I've seen him,
The Knicks,
Knicks. Yeah,
Timberwolves,
for sure. Yeah.
random teams.
Yeah, but not when he was in his prime. Like I've seen
Right.
clips and stuff like that, but never like a whole game. So I really want
Not
to.
back when you were in high school. Not you.
Yeah, absolutely not. I was tuned out of basketball at that point. But I mean, congrats to him and his career. I'm happy that he knows what he's wanting to focus on family and things like that. He'll still be in the basketball world and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Derrick Rose, and congrats on your retirement.
Really like a movie story from
Hmm.
Chicago, drafted number one overall to Chicago, wins
Yeah.
MVP at 22. Yeah, I'm sure that's like the first time that the Bulls really had anything, post Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And it really has been the only thing since post Michael Jordan. Since then, it hasn't been too good either. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Yeah, so interesting. I don't know. Yeah, great career, obviously. That's one of the bigger what ifs in NBA history, in terms of injuries. I think he tore his ACL, came back for like 30 games and then tore it again or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy.
Something terrible. Yeah, and then, of course, it's just never once you tear your ACL twice, you're never quite the same athletic player that you were. So, um,
Exactly. And that's what he hung his hat on, right? Was being athletic. And it's like if I can't do that, I spent my whole life tuning my game around that. And you have to kind of figure out around that. And he still had really good games. Like with the Pistons, he did
dropped
really
50 on the
well.
Timberwolves.
Yeah, so he was still a very good basketball player, and I'm glad he was still in the league. But he just knew it was his time, and I respect that. Some players don't know, so I'm happy
Yeah,
for him.
glad he went out on his own accord.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So like some of those guys that are old and like they just don't get picked up, and then it's like, oh, I guess they retired actually.
Yeah, it's like I guess I'm just like not gonna play anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll do this next one too, since we
yeah.
so this one actually hit me harder than I thought.
Okay,
It kind of Dikembe Mutombo has passed away at age 58 due to brain cancer.
yeah,
I was seeing a ton of pictures this morning of Dikembe Mutombo. I was like, oh, like it's his birthday or so. I thought it was like because they do that like
for
NBA will
sure.
like, and then I only when I was driving to the beach I saw that it was like he passed away, and I was like, he's got to be pretty young because I remember watching him play on the
Yeah,
Rockets,
yeah.
literally. You know,
Rockets legend, Nuggets
yeah,
legend, 76ers legend,
absolutely. Hawks legend
Hawks
was he?
legend. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What number he
Um,
wear on all those teams? I think he only wore one number his whole career.
I want to say 55, but it's
It
not
is
55.
55. Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
okay, thank God. I was about to feel bad if I got that wrong. But yeah, I mean, one of maybe the first player I remember watching growing up besides Kobe who's passed away, you
Mm.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Bill Russell passed away, very sad. Never watched him play.
Played 30 years
Um,
before we were alive.
Bill Walton, same thing. So it's like it's so young too, 58. Like I
Yeah.
think my parents are 15 turning 59, you know what I mean? So it's like it's crazy to think about. I hope, it was peaceful and all that stuff. And yeah, he was also like the first global ambassador for the NBA. I don't know if you knew
I didn't know
this.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's when they started really doing outreach outside of the US.
Mm,
So thought that was pretty cool for him. And yeah, hopefully it was peaceful, and I hope my condolences to his family,
of
friends, and
course.
everything. But yeah, big
Four-time
one.
defensive player of the year, right? One of the couple people
One
that
of
did that.
those. Yeah, I think so.
Him and like
Um,
Ben Wallace and Rudy Gobert. I think they're maybe the three that have done it.
do you think he'll get his jersey retired by anybody?
Oh, it's tough. That's a tough question. I don't want to say because he's passed, because that's like a it's like a pity at that point. Like, oh, now you passed away, we'll retire your
Yeah.
jersey. Because he was like pretty good for a majority of his career, but he did go from the Sixers to the Hawks to the Rockets to these other teams, the Nuggets. Like he played nowhere super long. Um,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think I agree. But definitely, I mean,
The
iconic,
NBA can
the
retire
no, no,
55
no.
because no one's gonna wear it anyways.
Yeah, Team
Um,
Hardenstein. And he'd be the last one.
was he 55?
But I mean, even like,
Yeah. Um,
right? Okay.
let's see.
I mean, even like the iconic like commercials, like the like no, 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 like the finger wag and stuff, that he would
Yeah.
do during games. I mean,
Well, the longest
iconic.
he was anywhere was 5 years, and that was a tie between like the Rockets, the Hawks, and the Nuggets. He was on all of them for 5 years. Came in
Yeah.
92, age 25. Was an all-star his rookie season.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then he retired in 2009, age 42 on the
Yeah.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy. Long time. But thank you to Kimbe Mutombo.
Yeah, this episode goes out to you.
Absolutely.
I'm reading his full name right now, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But what I can tell you is that it's actually six names.
Okay. I really want you to try to pronounce it, but I won't make you. It's
I,
okay.
this is just doesn't feel like the time. It doesn't feel like the time to butcher his name.
Yeah, let's not do that. We can move
Shout
forward.
out Rockets
Just like
legend
he would want.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Shout out. Thank you. Thank you for your years of basketball.
Yeah. All right. Enough sadness. Enough despair. Talked
Yeah,
about
let's get let's
talked
get into
about somebody getting
some.
laid off, somebody retiring, somebody passing away. Oh God. Now
Yeah, I know, but that's all part of
you
that's
got
part
to.
of the
You
game.
got
Part
to.
of
Yeah.
exactly, we got to. It's part of the news, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We were going to talk about this crazy thing that happened. I want you to break it down for me.
All right, let me break down this insane trade that came out of nowhere. And the first thing I did was call Dominicus because I was like, I want to tell him
The
before
literal
anyone else
highlight,
does.
literal my highlight was that Friday night. It
Yeah.
was Friday night. Yeah.
So the Knicks traded Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a top 13 protected first round pick this upcoming year, 2025, via the Pistons to the Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns. Out of nowhere, it felt like this trade happened right before media day, right before training camp. Actually, 1 year exactly after the Damian Lillard trade
See, that's what I
to
was
the
seeing.
Bucks.
That's super crazy.
Yeah. Um,
Really out of nowhere, both of them.
I was listening to, we mentioned Austin Rivers has a podcast with The Ringer, and they released a podcast on like Friday morning, I think, or Thursday morning. And in the podcast, his co-host Pasha Hagigi, who I like a lot, um, said, "Yeah, what about Julius Randle for Cat?" And Austin Rivers was like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" And then he was like, "I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff out there." And then the trade happened like a day after, and I was like, "That's crazy,"
That's
because I
actually crazy.
and I was just listening to it. I was listening to it after the trade had happened because I didn't listen to it like right when it came out, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's wild." He like actually predicted that. Crazy. Yeah. Other stuff to know in this trade: Daquan Jeffries and some draft compensation was sent from the Knicks to the Hornets because the salaries did not exactly match. Cat makes more than Randall and DiVincenzo combined, so the Knicks had to shed some more salary there. Like 5 minutes before it was posted by Shams, Cat tweeted ellipses. So I guess he had just been told. Um, I also saw also on Twitter Julius Randle like 2 days before the trade happened was at like an all basketball school. So like they have nothing but basketball curriculum in New York, and the court is being named after him because he had a campaign going for the last couple seasons he was in New York, where every three-pointer he made, he donated $500 like to the facility. So like over the last couple of years, he has donated like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to this facility. They just had like a big event for it that he was there, and like Tom Thibodeau was there talking about him too. Um, and now he's traded, so that's kind of crazy. And then last thing, real quick, Ian Begley, who reports on the Knicks, he reported DiVincenzo didn't like the idea of playing a reduced role with the Knicks after getting Mikal Bridges, even though they're like Villanova boys, because he would have had to come off the bench or whatever. Um, and somebody from the New York Post, Stefan Bondi, made a statement saying DiVincenzo was actually really excited for the season, and that wasn't true. So, you know, uh, who knows? But maybe that's why the Knicks included him because he was already kind of like, I don't know, I just had like a really good playoffs, and now I'm gonna be behind these guys. So, anyways, that's all the stuff about the trade. But let me hear your thoughts, your reactions. What do you think? I've been hearing some mixed, who won on this side, on that side. Did anyone win? Did both teams lose? What happened?
Yeah,
I,
so well, the funniest part to me was I was okay Friday night at a show. I was waiting for my friend to get there, and the show hasn't started yet, and I get a call from Damon, and I step outside, and at first I was kind of because I you don't I mean you call me,
I'm
but
not a
usually
caller.
not like that late, but
Yeah.
also not that late is the thing. Like if you would call maybe like during the day or like usually you'll text me, you're gonna call me, whatever. So I was like, first I wanted to make sure everything was all right. So I was worried. I was
Yeah.
like scared something happened. Um, and then you're just like, dude, some stuff happened. I was like, what? What's going on? And you just
Really
yeah,
wanted to
you told
tee
me
it up
that
for you.
yeah, you told me about the trade, and I was like, that's crazy. And my friend, like, we talked about it for like 5 minutes, but I was like, kind of I didn't know what to say. I was like, what what is the space? How is this going to work?
Right.
And then I had time to process it, so I've processed it. And I kind of don't. I kind Me as a fan, I don't like it for either team.
Okay.
Um, because I really like Cat in Minnesota, and I like how long he's been there and his growth, his progression. And Julius Randle, to me, like kind of reinvented himself in the Knicks and was an all-star with the Knicks and all of that. And DiVincenzo even like this last season. And I the report about him not like doesn't like the reduced role. I feel like it's he might have just like very subtly said it, but
Right.
I feel like he was more excited about actually doing it than that makes it seem like it was out to be as.
Yeah, it's not like
But
he
who
demanded
knows?
a trade or anything either.
Exactly. Well, he needed to come out and just say it if there's like all this conflicting stuff, I feel like. But regardless, yeah, I just liked where they were and I thought it was fitting well. And especially so like especially so after all this happened and read more about it, the reason why like Minnesota did this is to save money, essentially, because Cat is
Yeah.
gonna be earning so much
He's
money, and
on
then
the
you got
Supermax for like 5 years.
yeah, and then you
Glenn
got
Taylor and his goddamn billions strike
he's like,
again.
where my billions? Where my God,
He's come back for us.
it's he's never gonna leave us. Yeah, you got Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, like all these, you
Big
know,
contracts.
yeah. I would not. I don't hate this trade if it happens next year. I
No,
really wanted one more year
they just
for.
made the conference finals.
They
That
just made the
just
Western
happened.
ever, first time ever, I think.
No,
So,
first time since 2004. I think Kevin Garnett made the conference finals.
oh yeah, okay. I didn't know they
Um,
made it that far, but
but
still,
that
I
was
mean,
it. That was only the year. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yes. Still, you should run
And
it back
that
about.
was only year two of that trio being together. The first year they were like barely in the play-in, and then they
Right.
went to conference finals. So like,
Yeah, it's like, so what could be next even,
right, right,
for
right.
them. So I really would have wanted to see one more year, and I would have wanted to see 1 year of the Nova boys. And
Yeah,
also Julie, like I feel like that could have been a really great opportunity for Jalen Brunson to have one other person who can be ball dominant when needed.
yeah,
And now like Cat is not really like he doesn't really create for himself like that. Not like Julius Randle by any means. He does space the floor. If we're talking about like fits, I mean, Cat on the Knicks is a really good fit.
yeah,
I like Cat on the Knicks. I think that's a really good. It's gonna work pretty well for them, and I'm sure he'll get over leaving Minnesota quick because the Knicks fans and everything. Like I'm sure he'll get along. As long as um, he doesn't complain too much and stuff. I feel like they can be kind of brutal if you complain, but I do like his fit on the Knicks. It makes sense for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson is going to be out probably till January,
yep,
I think is what they said.
yep.
So it's like you
So
needed your
they were about to start Precious Achua and Jericho Sims was going to be their center rotation,
yeah, and you know what? That's not
which is
great.
nasty.
It's not great. Um, it's not Daniel Tice bad,
Right.
but it's bad. And again, we like Daniel Tice on the pod. He's just not a starting center.
Right.
Anyway, so I like the fit for the Knicks. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I don't like.
Hmm.
I don't like Julius Randle fitting alongside like Rudy Gobert. No spacing there. I like Dante DiVincenzo, gives him more depth for sure.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, like it's just I think the Knicks are now maybe for me it's Celtics, 76ers, Knicks.
Yeah.
And then Bucks are like right there.
Sure.
Um, and then like in the West, Timberwolves fall to me. Like not a lot, but a bit. And I feel like now a lot, Anthony Edwards has his work cut out for him, I
Yeah.
think. Um, but that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm pretty similar to what you said. First, I want to express that this is a nasty front court for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, that is some 1995 front court action we got going on. And it's going to be gnarly. Anthony Edwards is going to have not a lot of space to operate. Julius Randle is very much a post creator. Rudy Gobert has no use outside of anywhere that isn't the dunker spot. So his, area of operation is going to be pretty limited, I think. I think with this trade, Julius Randle also rumored may not be available to start the season, which is
Oh,
great. Yeah, so if he is available, I think the lineup is Conley, Edwards, McDaniels, Randall, Gobert. he's not available, you probably slide McDaniels up to the 4, Ant over to the 3, and then you have Conley and DiVincenzo, which is weird. Better spacing, but weird lineup. Jaden
Yeah. See,
McDaniels is like
I,
6'10", so he's like, I mean, he's huge.
yeah, and
Uh,
he's a great defender. So I don't, I he can cover like the 4 and the 3, and I mean Anthony Edwards is also a very good defender. DiVincenzo is pretty good.
yeah,
He'll kind of cover. I don't see that lineup. I don't hate, and even
yeah.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker can slide in at the 2 or something. It's
Yeah,
like,
you have Nah, you have Rob Dillingham. Hopefully does okay in his rookie
yeah,
year
we'll see.
here. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just
it's a
it's
strange team. They're so much worse now. I think. Like, I think their ceiling is capped. I think Julius Randle is a fine player. He has made all NBA teams. Just with this particular team, with how Anthony Edwards likes to play basketball and Gobert down there in the front court with him, I just don't. I just feel like they're capped at like a second round exit now. Like that's what it feels like to me when I think about it. Whereas Cat, I think, yes, he had his woes. Yes, he did, fouled out randomly, but when he was on, it was like unlocked a new thing for the Timberwolves that I feel like they're going to be severely lacking now, unless we get a jump maybe from Naz Reid. He plays a lot more minutes off the bench and kind of fills that Cat void, but we'll see. I hate when trades are made for money.
yes.
They didn't want
Oh
to pay
my,
Cat for 5 years. When the Gobert trade was made, I thought they're gonna have to get rid of one of these guys eventually. And Cat was the one that made the most sense because Anthony Edwards is the future. Gobert doesn't have a ton of value after they traded all that stuff for him. So they wouldn't really get a lot back. And even with Cat, I don't think they got a lot back. Like Julius Randle's contract, he has a player option, and then it expires. Dante DiVincenzo, same thing. Um, so they're trading Cat for cap flexibility, like that's what you got back for your franchise player who's been there for 10 years and is what the second best player in franchise history, probably, right?
yeah.
It's like Kevin Garnett, Cat, and then like Kevin Love, Ant. That's that's like the top four
Yeah,
players
and
in
I mean, and
franchise
it's
history.
it might it could like it's fluid, like
Yeah, and I
cat it
mean,
will yeah anyway. But I totally agree with you. And also like another big thing that really upsets me about trades is when it really ruins team chemistry.
yeah,
So like DiVincenzo and the
Cat and Ant
Knicks
had
had
great chemistry.
yeah, and Cat and Ant, like they had so much like you could tell they were had fun and they liked
Right,
playing together. And it's
right.
like so now I'm gonna watch Julius Randle and Ant not have as much fun playing together, and I'm gonna see Cat like he's gonna I like Cat. He's gonna be a little timid this year. Like that's just because he
Yeah,
was comfortable, he was able to play his game. Now he's gonna be a little like reserved, and they're gonna be good. He's gonna be fine, but it's just not gonna be the same. It's just
I
ugh.
did see too that John Krasinski, funny enough, that's his name. He is the reporter for the Timberwolves, a beat reporter. He said was not a result of Cat requesting a trade, and then he put like Cat has never requested any roster change or trade since he's been here. So he's been like the
Yeah.
perfect like guy for them. Yes, he again, like I said, he has his flaws, but like he's such an easy guy to work with. He's been through a lot. We've talked about, COVID, his mom passing, things like that. People like bully him online for like the way he talks, his attitude, blah blah blah. And that's not like real. I'm sure NBA players probably have all their social medias muted, and everyone gets hate mail. If you're a celebrity, everyone hates
Of
you,
course, yeah.
for whatever reason. But it sucks. Flipping to the other side, he is from New Jersey. So this is, basically his hometown team, which is interesting. I saw a
Okay.
video of him when he was in high school. He like went to the court and was doing like mimicking being like a reporter,
Oh,
like
that's
courtside of a
funny.
Knicks game, which was silly. Um,
Yeah.
so like
Well,
that's cool. And for the Knicks, the best part about this, it really feels a need at center because they were going into the season looking scary at the center position. Even if Randall comes back and you run him at center, it's like not amazing.
mm-mm.
Um, so it fills that need, which is nice. They didn't give up a ton. Julius Randle, like I mentioned, talented player. I do think Cat, like I said, has a higher ceiling. This is a team that wants to, they're trying to basically beat Boston, right? That's their goal. Um,
Yeah.
they have the elite wing defenders, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby for Tatum and Brown. Now they have Cat, which adds a dynamic to their offense they didn't have before, and I don't think a lot of teams in the East can really stop. Um, Embiid's a good defender, but he's never been healthy and active long enough in the playoffs to play like elite defense.
Yeah.
Giannis is pretty good, so you do have to worry about that. But the Bucks are kind of like in a weird place right now. And then the Celtics, as great as they were last year, the center position is probably their weakest point, with
Yeah.
Porzingis' health and Al Horford's age. So this really gives them another kind of edge over them, which I think is nice. Uh, the thing I'm concerned most now is their depth. looking at their depth chart. I thought they had a lot of it, and I looked at their depth chart, and I'm like, okay, wait, we have Miles McBride, Campaign, Precious Achuya, Mitchell Robinson when he's healthy, and like somebody I'm forgetting probably off the bench, and that's about it. Like that's all your depth.
Yeah, and they literally just waived Marcus Morris. Like
Oh, they
he
waived
would
him?
be a
They
good
already waived
person
him?
for them there. Yeah. They waived him, but they waived him before the trade. So now I'm like, are they gonna try to get him back? Like, I don't know.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So yeah, they have a lot of guards, and then it's like, who do you got? I guess they're really trusting that I mean, Mikal Bridges is like Iron Man, right? Like
He has never
he
missed a
always
game in his
plays.
career. Played
Yeah.
83 when he got traded to the Nets.
Yeah, so crazy. But like, OG has some health stuff. Jalen
Right.
Brunson, maybe like you don't know. So yeah, their depth I am concerned about. At least the Timberwolves depth is
But
better now.
Tom Thibodeau loves
Um,
running seven people, so I guess we'll see.
last thing I did want to mention before we move forward from
Yeah.
this, is that there also was the video. I don't know if you saw this, the video of Cat going to the training center at the Timberwolves at 3 in the morning and just shooting around with his dad after the trade was announced. I
Oh,
don't know
I
if you
didn't
saw
know
that.
that. Wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of sad to watch that. He's like, my last time here, I'm gonna shoot around this
He
place.
went to
So
that. He was right out of freshman of college. He's been there since he was like 19.
yeah, it's
Like that's
just,
tragic. Tragic.
mhm. Yeah, one of those
I
people I
want him to be
definitely
a lifer.
thought. Yeah, I was literally about to say that one of those people I thought would have been like a Timberwolf for life for sure. So
How
I
many
hope the
lifers are
best.
there actually? How many lifers are in the NBA right now?
We got
Steph? You think
Steph.
Book will be a lifer? Could
I
be.
would, I think so. I think I could see that for him. Luca, I could see being a lifer.
I don't know. He's too young. He's like 25.
Okay, Jokic. How about that?
Jokic, I
Jokic's
could
pretty.
see for sure.
Giannis.
Yeah. I don't know. Every couple of years, he's like, guys, we got to make the team better. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
It's like a
exactly. Like
crazy trade.
I'm just trying to think of the players who have been on the same team, but maybe hasn't complained. But I don't
I could
know.
see Bam being like a Heat lifer. I know he's like only like he's like 27. He's not like super old, but
Yeah. I mean, there's too many rumors for Trey Young for it not. I don't know. I don't think
I
so.
don't want Trae Young to be a Hawks. Like I don't want to watch the Hawks when Trae Young is there.
Well, I won't just watch the Hawks for 20 years, I guess. Um, yeah,
Terrence Mann,
anyways.
Clippers lifer, of course.
I mean, if that's what it comes down to be, who knows? But anyways, yeah, so the trade happened. We'll see what happens. We'll go from there.
Wild trade.
I don't know if you also saw one of the preseason games, is Knicks versus Timberwolves.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's like in a couple weeks, so, like before the season. So,
If only they knew
um,
this was gonna happen, this could have been like a Christmas Day game.
for real. I mean, it would have been good too. Like two very good teams squaring
Yeah.
up. But yeah, I mean, that's the trade. Do you want to give like a grade just to like kind of put a
Yeah,
bud on
sure.
it?
I'll give the Knicks like a B plus. So I do think they're probably better. They're just the depth and the injuries scare me, so that's why I can't go into the A territory. And then for the Wolves, I'm definitely lower. I'm like a C minus. I don't like it for the Wolves. I think like the team is just nasty now. That's the only way I know how to describe it. What about you?
Yeah, I give an A minus to the Knicks, because I think you can't make you're addressing a need that you can't make moves like this without sacrifices. So I
Yeah,
understood it, and I think the benefit will outweighs what they lost. So A
yeah,
minus. Timberwolves, I give a C plus. The reason why it's not lower is because they got Dante DiVincenzo, so it adds to their depth. It's the
yeah.
only reason why we give a plus. Otherwise, it'd be a C. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously it seems one-sided. The Knicks got a better deal out of this, I think, for sure. And like you mentioned, they kind of didn't give that much up for it in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things.
Like
So
Julius Randle in terms of giving like not that it's not giving up nothing, but like you're getting an all NBA talent, a lesser all NBA talent for a better all NBA talent. So like that kind of part cancels out to me, you know? Um
yeah,
so then it's just like DiVincenzo to pick to upgrade this
basically,
guy. Okay, sure. And like
yeah,
a lottery protected Pistons pick. The Pistons are gonna be in the lottery again.
yeah, exactly.
So,
So
yeah, it's whatever.
yeah. All right. Well, that's all the news that we got.
A
And you
lot
know
of
what? I
news.
You know what time I think it is for right now? I
What
think it's time
what
for
time is it?
small
Summertime. Small forwards.
forwards.
Weird position name. No one ever thinks about. Why is small forward is just strange.
People love to ask me what are the positions in basketball. I say point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. They go, wait, what? What was that? Small forward. You go, what does that mean? It's
You
like
say,
it's
I
the
don't know.
third position. It's like I
Just
don't know. What do you want it to mean?
just what it's called, man.
It's just what it's
I make the
called.
I make the rules. Okay, so yeah, we have the small forward list here, and I added all the pictures of guys we didn't have because I keep finding lists that are just full of wrong names. So had to get the right names on there. Let me quickly pull up our list from last year, like I have been doing. Yeah, you can see this.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So last year in the S tier, we had Jason Tatum at number one in the small forward category, which is kind of crazy. Um, LeBron, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George. That was our S tier. You want to take A tier?
Yeah, A tier, we got Brandon Ingram, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Middleton, Andrew Wiggins, and Laurie Markkinen.
That's a that's rough. Okay. And B tier, we had Tobias Harris, Jaden McDaniels, RJ Barrett, Michael Porter Jr., Cam Johnson, Keldon Johnson, OG Anunoby, Franz Wagner.
This is interesting. C tier, we have Max Strus, Lou Dort, DeAndre Hunter, Harrison Barnes, and Dylan Brooks.
D tier, we had Benedict Mathurin, Shaden Sharp, Asar Thompson,
Yeah,
I
sorry.
guess, and Brandon Miller.
In F tier, we got Josh Okogie. Oh, this was definitely not Luka
It
Doncic. It
was
was
not,
a placeholder for
I think it was
was
Tim
it
Hardaway.
Tim Hardaway? Yeah. Corey Kispert, and then is that Aldama?
That's
Santi
John
Aldama.
Conchar.
John Conchar. Okay, so it is a Grizzlies player. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were we thinking?
Yeah, this is bad. This is definitely worse than the other ones. Yeah, so let's erase that from existence
Yeah, this
and get
is
into the
bad.
new one because
Let's
I want to know what
let's do
happened last
better.
year.
I wanna forget about that and just move forward. Let's just
Yeah.
move forward.
We had a lot of news today, so we really need to jump right into here. Oh, this has the bad sound. Hold on, I gotta fix that. That's gonna irk me. All right. Starting with the Denver Nuggets.
Okay, Michael Porter Jr.
That's
Right.
right.
So Michael Porter Jr. is going to be the starting small forward. He's an easy A tier, I think. Maybe, lower A tier, but we'll see that as we move forward. When he makes his threes, he makes his threes. Pretty good defender. 6'11" as a small forward is pretty crazy. Um, has some health issues sometimes, but he's been pretty good the last few seasons. He's a very important part of the Nuggets offense, plays really well with Jokic, knows when to cut, when to slash, um, and like can finish at the rim pretty well. So I think he's an easy A tier
I have a lot of
player.
disagreements. I think he's
Really?
worse. I think he so I have some disagreements with some things you said. Yes, he is a sniper. He is one of those guys, like I mentioned Kevin Durant last episode. When he shoots the ball, I'm like, that's going in. And I'm sure as a Lakers fan, you felt that during the playoffs
Yep.
too frequently. But he's missing a lot in his offensive game. He can't pass like well to save his life. He gets the ball, he's shooting it. He is not doing anything else. He's not dribbling even half the time. He can get to the rim. That has gotten a little better over the years. He's still not amazing at it. I actually think his defense is kind of lackluster for his size. Like he's not super quick on his feet, and he's of course very skinny. He can kind of get pushed around. Um, I just think he's very much like a role player, but like a good role player. And I would say I think we had Aaron Gordon in the B tier. And I feel like Aaron Gordon is better at his role than Michael Porter Jr. is. Like I would rather have Aaron Gordon on my team than Michael Porter Jr. So I would say he's like a B tier. That would be my argument for you.
That's interesting. I would rather have Michael Porter Jr. on my team, I think. But I'm fine with B tier. Uh, but I think a higher B tier. I think that he does have the issues that we both talked about, but I think if it was on a different team, it wouldn't work as well. But because you have Jokic passing you the ball, like I think that covers up a lot of his. I think the players around him cover up his, you know, deficiencies like in passing and whatnot. Like he's not expected to be a good passer. He's
Right.
not expected to create for himself. He's expected to be open on the three and then to like cut to the rim and then try to play defense. Like I wish his defense was a little bit better considering his size, but I'm fine with B tier. But um,
Starting off
with a
fighting this time.
disagreement, this is very interesting. Okay. But yeah,
Like,
let's just keep on going.
and he has to get an automatic demotion for being related to Jonte Porter. So,
Yeah, I mean that is incredibly tough. It's gonna go with you everywhere you go.
all right, Atlanta Hawks. So yeah, they had Dyson Daniels and Zachary Richachet on here, and Dom and I both decided DeAndre Hunter is probably starting because that's
Yeah.
who has been starting. And maybe that's not the case, but for now we'll go with that. DeAndre Hunter is fine. I feel like he hasn't quite developed to the player that the Hawks wanted him to be when they drafted him fourth overall back in like 2018. Um, he's kind of a 3-and-D guy, which I feel like is a phrase we're going to say a lot here today in the small forward position. His defense, I think, is pretty good. He went to Virginia, kind of known as a defensive school. Um, and I just think the Hawks probably expected more of a jump right now, by now in his offensive game. Um, he is very limited as well in his kind of like what he can do as a creator, and he's not nearly as good of a shooter as we mentioned, like Michael Porter Jr. or anything. He's not a sniper. He's fine. He's like okay at it, but he's not the guy. Overall, looking at our list here of guys we're going to get through today. I could see DeAndre Hunter being a D for DeAndre, honestly. That's like he has hit the jump I think that they've expected. Has had a lot of health concern, injury and stuff too, I should mention. And I just feel like if he hasn't hit it yet, I don't know if this is the year he will. Um, so I'm kind of fine with D tier, but what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I was thinking D tier as well. He has, like you said, just hasn't lived up to what you want from him. Like you kind of want him to be like, you want kind of want him to be more or less like a Mikal Bridges. Like you want him to be like a really good defender. You want him to be really good on the three, and he's just kind of fine. Like I bet he's like 35% from three or something, which is
Right,
fine. It's like the league average, but you want him to be a little bit better. And defense, like is he like the guy you want to put on? Like, is he the guy who's guarding like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown? It's like, yeah, I wish I had someone better on my
right.
team to guard them. So I think D tier is good for him. He's not a bad basketball player by any means, but I think yeah, maybe the injuries kind of hindered his development as well. But hopefully, we'll see. How long he's been in the league? What like he's been with the Hawks 4 years, something like that.
This will be like his fifth or sixth year.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a while already. This
Yeah.
is kind of like 2, 3 years. You're like, I get it, but at some point, you kind of gotta.
At some point it has to click, and it hasn't clicked.
It hasn't exactly. Yeah. Mm. Ooh, my tea is good. All right.
I want some tea. I'm
Well,
jealous.
let us continue. Indiana Pacers.
This will
Okay,
be
cool.
Neesmith.
Yeah, so we talked about this. So Aaron Neesmith, really got a good look at him in the playoffs. So I have not watched a lot of Pacers. I watched a little bit of Pacers basketball, but definitely watched the playoffs. And Aaron Nesmith was very impressive, very good defender. He's the one you wanted on your Jalen Brunson, and the like. And he did a really good job. Um, so great defender, not the best offensive player. And I think he's still very young. He's like 21, 22, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think he still has time to develop into a better offensive player, but his defense is so elite.
He
I
might actually be
th
like 24. He was drafted a while ago.
Yeah, he might. I know he's on the Celtics for I don't know how long he's on the Celtics, so um but
Yeah,
I
he's
really like
24.
24. Good call. I like Aaron Nesmith a lot, and he also matches the Pacers like intensity of like moving. He likes to move fast and quick, and I mean, I think he's the one that put up the layup that Anthony Edwards did block. That was
Yes,
like, the big
that was
highlight.
him.
But like they're like he moves quick, and I like him a lot. His fit on the Pacers is really good. That being said, I hope his offense improves, but I kind of feel like to be safe and put him in the C tier because he is better than DeAndre Hunter, I think already. Like because he
Okay.
has is that elite defense in his arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was thinking D tier above DeAndre Hunter, but I'm okay with putting him in the C tier for
Yeah,
now.
and he can slide down, but like I know he's better than DeAndre Hunter, so I thought at least visually.
Yeah, I mean, you said all the things. He's kind of a stout defender, weird. He's like 6'5", so he's gonna be small running the three.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, he fits in that Pacers system pretty well. He's hustling, bustling up and down the court. And he's not one of the guys. He's just kind of like, or he's not the guy. He's one of the guys. What I meant to
yeah,
say, like he's just kind of part of your offense, part of the system, buys in, which you like to see from those
yeah,
guys. So yeah, maybe we'll see a jump.
absolutely.
We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll see though.
Let's talk about
Uh,
the Brooklyn Nets. Yay.
oh yeah, who's their starting?
Their
Oh,
small
is it
forward's gonna be Cam Johnson this year with Dorian
for how
Finney-Smith at the
long?
four. For how long, I don't know, but for now, opening night, it's gonna be Cam Johnson. What can I say? This guy shoots threes, and that's what he does pretty well. Other than that, I don't know. He's, you know, an underrated skill that we got to talk about with these three-point shooters. Cam Johnson is one of the ones that I feel like, yes, he can shoot threes, but I feel like he's also very good at getting into the correct spot to shoot the three. Like, however the offense is moving, whether it's in fast break or half court, he finds the right corner or wherever to kind of set up and get ready for the pass to shoot, which is kind of an underrated skill, I think. Like his spacing is good in terms of like his awareness and all that.
Yeah.
Um, his defense is not amazing. Like he's a fine defender. He's not like super great or anything. He's one of those guys came in the league kind of exactly who he's going to be and hasn't changed. He was like a 24-year-old rookie or something crazy like that. All that said, I'd probably put him in the C tier. I don't know if it's before or after Neesmith. Probably that behind Neesmith, I guess. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree. C for Cam Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's someone one of the players that a team would really like to have on their team because he's still on the younger side, shoots his threes very well. I think you said a great point about knows how to space very well, not just shoots threes from wherever. He just knows how to move, on the court. So I like him in the C tier. I guess I would put him behind Neesmith. That's what you said, right?
that is what I said.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that. I think yeah, Aaron Neesmith's defense is like more elite than Cam Johnson's 3-point shooting. If you had you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
cool. I'm making sure none of these guys on the bottom are important.
okay. I see that. I see that. All right, we're just chugging along.
We're going.
Chugga, chugga. This train is moving.
All
Ah,
right.
the Minnesota Timberwolves.
So yeah,
Ah,
we talked about them. I know this is your team. I just wanted to wait. Is it your? Yeah, it is your team.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to
No, you're
preface it
good.
a little bit. So yeah, we're predicting the starting lineup to be now with the trade: Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle, Gobert.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jaden McDaniels is an easy A tier. Especially everything he did in the playoffs. His defense is elite. His 3-point shooting, not this last year, but the year before, was like 40%. This past year was like 34%. So could be better. But the thing is, he can make them. And what I really like about him and what you saw in the playoffs is that he shows up, right? Like he wasn't like
He
quiet
was
and
present.
like he was present. He was checked in for class. He wasn't like playing this crazy good defense, then they got 0 points. Like he was playing crazy good defense and also doing stuff on the offensive side of the ball. He's a player that I saw everyone trusted, and um, I just like the way he plays basketball as well. Like he's bought into that system, and when you pair him together with the defense of Gobert and Anthony Edwards, like it really was a good system. Now you got to think about how Julius Randle fits in that and whatnot. But we're just talking about Jaden McDaniels, and he's an A tier small forward.
Yeah. He had a splashes last year, I would say, on offense. If we can find a way to get that to be more consistent, I think that would be really beneficial, especially now with the absence of Cat. Somebody's going to have to fill the void, especially if Randall's not healthy to start the season, like what has been rumored. But the defense is, I mean, it is elite, elite, elite. Probably going to be the best on the list, maybe, or close to it. He is so good at defense, and that is definitely underrated. Um, I was thinking about this. Crazy that Karl Anthony Towns' tenure as a Timberwolf ended up, on not ended literally, but the switch that Jaden McDaniels and Gobert made on the Luka step back three in like game two or whatever that was in the conference finals.
Yeah,
One of your last moments as a Wolf. That's so sad. Um, but yeah, he's a great defender, and that's why they switched it because they did not want him on Luka. And yeah, like I mentioned, he can space, but he has shown, like I said, flashes as a creator. Hopefully, we can see more of those as we go on. Definitely fine with A tier because he does. I'm projecting. Of course, we're projecting. We keep forgetting to mention that up top.
yeah,
But we're projecting, how these guys are going to finish at the end of the year, not where they're at this very moment. And I could definitely see this being the year that he kind of fulfills, becomes a secondary or even tertiary scorer as well as his kind of elite defense.
absolutely. Yeah, and also he's young, right? He's like 25, maybe,
Yeah, he's
if
pretty
not.
young. He's pretty
Yeah.
young.
So that's also good. Like he's going to be around for a bit. So good for the
Right.
Timberwolves and that defense.
Jaden McDaniels. So
Not to
interesting.
be confused with Jalen McDaniels on the Sacramento Kings,
Formerly Raptor, formerly also Hornet.
former Raptor Hornet.
Rockets,
Oh,
my turn.
beautiful poetic justice.
All right, let's talk about Dylan Brooks. He's my small forward again this year.
Sorry.
What does Dylan Brooks do? He harasses people, and both on the court and off the court, it seems. Not in a great way. Don't love the way he plays defense, very like Patrick Beverly-esque, where it's like sometimes it's defense and sometimes it's theatrics. So it was just like, okay. Um, Fine shooter, okay creator, can kind of fit into a lot of different systems, I think. A solid NBA player. I don't see a lot of growth coming from Dylan Brooks. I think he's kind of is where he is. That being said, I would put him probably on the C tier. I don't know where on the C tier, but that's about where I see him as a player. Pretty average. He can shoot, he can defend, he occasionally is annoying. That's about it.
Yeah, I want to put him on the C tier behind Cam Johnson. I think he's just not as like dependable as the other two. But he is very good at, like you said, God, that picture's terrible.
It's not great.
If you're not watching this, you gotta look at these pictures. Yeah, his defense is good. He's a very good defender, but it borders on dangerous, which I do not like. By
Broke
any
Gary
it's
Payton's arm that one time
Yeah, insane. Like stuff like that. I
in
mean,
a
that was
playoff game.
2 years ago,
Nutty.
but still, like, just dumb. Like dumb plays like that, which you just did not have to hurt somebody.
Right.
Which we haven't seen him do that in a Rockets uniform, but he is who he is. It's not like
Not
it
yet.
changed that much. But no, yeah, back at C tier, he makes his threes, he plays defense. Sometimes though, he needs to learn when to stop throwing up because I feel like his stat line is usually like 1 for 8 from three.
Oh yeah.
Like
He'll
it's
he'll,
like he's
he'll he
gotta
is the Marcus Smart sometimes. Like I'm just gonna keep shooting these threes.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes just know when to stop.
Sometimes you realize you have Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet in your offense, and they can shoot the threes instead, actually.
And you just play the defense to cover them up. Exactly.
Right. That's Dylan Brooks, everybody. That's our Dylan Brooks analysis, official DB analysis.
Official. Put it in. All right. Okay. So here we go. Phoenix Suns. We
Tell
had
me
some
about their
debate about
s-
this.
Tell me about their 6'3" small forward.
Yeah, yeah. So F tier. No, I want to because I want the Phoenix Suns to realize it should be Grayson Allen at the three.
Yeah,
And that means a lot coming from us because we don't like Grayson Allen as a
that's
person.
true.
But for your team, like you would be elite if you would have Bradley Beal come off the bench, and because now he's just like he doesn't space the floor. He's 6'3". He's not gonna be able to play defense that well. He's a really good NBA player, but you're not giving him tools to succeed while
Right.
throwing him in the starting lineup. And I don't know if that's more like a coaching thing or it's going to be he needs to like kind of like Westbrook buy into this. I'm coming off the bench and just be elite off the bench. He could be sixth man of the year, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like he has that potential. But starting, I don't like the fit. But I guess we're projecting how he's going to be, not like
Yes.
yeah, so I can't be like I want to say F tier because it's not a good fit, but Bradley Beal's a very good NBA player, and it wouldn't make sense not to put him lower than B tier, I think, but like back of B tier. But he's a very good scorer. Can't play defense, but he can create for himself. He can score. He can sometimes make threes, sometimes make mid-range jumpers. But when he's not injured, which is important, which I haven't brought up yet, um, he's one of the better NBA players. But as a small forward, it's not a good fit. But what do
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah. He's never been swept a day except last year he was swept for the
Well,
first time.
damn. Well,
Well,
damn.
I'll be damned. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So, yeah, for context for our listeners, according to ESPN or whatever I'm looking at, their projected depth chart is Tyus Jones at the point guard, and Devin Booker at the two, and then Bradley Beal at the three, which is gross. When they're guarding other people, Beal will probably be on the two and Booker on the three, but I just feel like I want to rank Devin Booker as a shooting guard because that is what he is.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense to me. So that's why we have Bradley Beal here, because likely he will start. They basically promised Tyus Jones a starting position when they signed him. And of course, we already talked about Kevin Durant and Yusuf Nurkic. So yeah, this is probably how it's going to be. How long until they change that? Hopefully not, because yeah, 6'3" Bradley Beal should not be in your starting lineup as a small forward. Anyways, Bradley Beal's a player. Last year was tough. The Suns fit, I think, was tough. Some of that on Bradley Beal, some of that I think just on the construction of the team didn't make a lot of sense. I think the roles were not very well defined. There was no playmaker. That's why they signed Tyus Jones. So it was just three scorers and Beal, Booker, and Durant. And I think Beal kind of got the shortest end of the stick, being you know, um, probably worst of the three players at this point in their careers right now. So he kind of suffered, didn't look great, really didn't look great in the playoffs. Had some bad performances there in that series to the Timberwolves, but they got swept, so it's not like anyone was great. Um, Talent-wise, though, I do think maybe they bounce back this year with the year under their belt, with chemistry, with all that stuff. And yeah, I would throw him at the back of the B tier. I don't think I could put him any lower than that because I don't think he's a bad NBA player. He's just kind of in a
Exactly.
bad situation.
Yeah, I totally agree. On a team in a good situation, he could easily be an A tier. When healthy. Which I think is all I just want to reiterate is
Yeah,
super important.
has had some injuries in the past couple of years for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
But
the
yeah,
Wizards gave him a max contract, a super max, sorry, with the no trade clause. So
that's insane.
huge.
But yeah, I hope the Suns figure out quickly that it would just work better with him off the bench because that scares me.
That
This
that
is
would
a
be yeah, that would be terrifying in like a
that
playoff
scares me.
series.
Exactly. But this doesn't scare me as much,
Yeah.
for sure. All right.
Let's see what team is next on the docket.
Let us.
All right.
Oh,
Pelicans.
oh, Pelicans.
They sadly still have Brandon Ingram. So he'll be their starting small forward.
And sad because
Sad because I think he's like the weirdest fit now. He wants a contract extension. They haven't given it to him. And the rest of their lineup is Zion, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, and random center X, which is Daniel Tice right now, I guess. I don't know. Ingram just feels like kind of one of the odd men out. I mean, he's had moments, he's had moments where he has, 27 and 8, like that's his season average, makes the All-Star game, whatever. He has also had a lot of uh, injuries in his career, unfortunately. Um, And it just seems like the him and Zion thing is kind of already played out, and I'm kind of over it and don't want to really see it anymore. I'd rather have Trey Murphy in the starting lineup around Zion, but Brandon Ingram's still there, so he will definitely still start. That being said, talent-wise, very talented scorer. Has moments here and there lately. Like I mentioned, though, he has been injured. He has struggled a little bit in the past couple of years, but kind of like Bradley Beal, talent-wise, I don't think I could put him lower than the B tier, so he's probably somewhere in there.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the Pelicans need to make a trade. I mean, Ingram for a good center to fit around Zion would be perfect, and then have Trey Murphy in that three position. That'd be scary. And
Yeah,
right now, like they are very offensively, very well equipped, obviously with Brandon Ingram, but defense is kind of a liability. He's just not as good as you would want him to be, and I don't think he's going to get better.
yeah,
Doesn't seem like he's that kind of player that would kind of buy into a system like that. So you have to kind of tool defensive players around him. I can't. Yeah, he's not lower than B tier for sure. Um, I don't know. I kind of want to put him like in front of Bradley Beal, but I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
how
okay
he.
with that.
Yeah.
The
Um,
bad picture too.
yeah, it's just pictures. Jeez. Oh my God. Just take better pictures at media day, guys. Smile. God, be happy that you're there. God, please, jeez.
Please, Jeeves.
Please, jeez.
uh,
All
yeah.
right, who am I talking about? Yeah.
Tell me
Um,
about.
tell me.
I'm gonna preface this for you.
Yeah,
So
who are
ESPN's depth chart has Damian Lillard, Chris Middleton at shooting guard, Torian Prince at small forward, Giannis, and then Brook Lopez, and that's disgusting. Chris Middleton's going to be the small forward. I
yeah,
don't care who you play as shooting guard, but you're not playing Torian Prince at small forward. I refuse to let that happen.
no, Torian is also
Play
Chris
like
Middleton.
Gary Trent at shooting guard. Like that's better than Torian Prince at small forward. What are we doing here?
I don't hate Torian Prince as a like maybe but shooting guard is
Not
like
your starting small forward. It's just strange.
no. It doesn't
Start Pat
that
Connaughton again. Come on. We're not doing
yeah.
Chris Middleton at
No.
the two.
Chris Middleton, very talented basketball player, can mid-range, great, can make the threes. Last year, it's tough for me because I'm trying to remember like last time I watched Middleton play basketball, and it was in the playoffs, and he was very good.
Yeah,
He
he was
he
pretty
took it
good.
to overtime against the Pacers without Giannis
Yeah.
and everything. So like he really put that team on his back. But the whole season, he didn't play, right? Or not that much.
No, he's had a lot of injuries in the last couple
Yeah,
of years.
so it's so tough right now. Like, so that championship run, he was incredible. Like, it's you can't you got it was what it was. But
Had
since
surgery on
then,
both his ankles.
yeah, literally, that was the craziest thing to read. It's like that's just one, not one, but two. So you only got two. So what are you doing? So yeah, it's a bit tough to kind of rank because right now what I'm gonna say is because of injuries, right? And right
Yeah,
now I feel like he's a B tier player because of injuries. Like he very easily could be an A.
yeah.
Um, but right now I can't trust him enough to put him in A. Like he just doesn't have the history of this last year, and we're projecting. So like
And he's old.
and he's older. Yeah, he's older than a lot of these guys. So I think like front of B tier at least because
Yeah,
you know
I like his secondary creation a lot.
yes, I like him a lot when he's healthy. He's perfect with Giannis and
Yeah.
even with Dame, and like I think that's a perfect fit for him. But it's just unfortunate, like that both his legs are falling apart. And you can't run on your hands. I'll tell you that much.
He was so like before Dame got there, he was so good as the guy like we're down to here you go, Chris Middleton. We really need some points right now.
Cash money, cash
Yeah.
money.
He's one of those guys, man. Um yeah, I hope he's healthy. I can definitely see him having issues in the year. Hopefully not though.
Yeah,
Uh, very talented scorer, playmaker, pretty good defender, honestly, for his age too.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm fine. I was thinking like the Wolves would never trade Jade McDaniels for Chris Middleton just because of the potential, right? Like it would just be an insane thing to do.
Yeah,
But like in a game, who would I rather have? That's a tougher question. Um,
that is tough. That is tough.
so yeah, I'm okay with this. I could see also A tier even behind Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah,
It
and there's
depends on
potential
how
to move
healthy
him.
he is. Yeah,
Yeah,
health is a factor here for sure. Like
this
every
is
guy on the B tier, we didn't even talk about it, Michael Porter Jr. Guy missed years of his career with back
yeah.
injuries.
No, I
Right,
meant
right
what
now our B
I
tier are
mean
just injured players. They're talented.
because yeah, exactly. No, that's a really good point. Yeah, our B tier is just injury riddled. I do see like we can move. We'll see how B tier ends up. Like we
Sure.
could move. This is very fluid what we're
Yeah.
doing right now. So
We haven't done a lot of moving in the first two. We were kind of just like, yeah, it looks good.
yeah, well we knew we could, but we're like, but the thing is, we're so good. We're so
We're
insane.
so much better at it. We don't need to move anymore.
We're also better than it than last year. God,
Orlando Magic. Orlando
or
Ma Is this me?
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
tell you about Franz Wagner. No.
yeah. Who's wagging who?
Franz Wagner is a good NBA player. Um, period. The end. he's kind of the secondary guy in the Magic behind Paolo. His shooting it comes and goes. He has been he's a good slasher for his size and frame. He's like 6'11", 6'10". And he's not like he's super quick or anything, but I feel like when I watch the Magic, he can just kind of get to the bucket, and then it's like, oh wait, there's the 6'10" guy. It's not super easy to block when he's moving as fast as he is, because he does move like a wing, but he's just so much bigger than most wings. It's interesting. Um, yeah, I mentioned shooting is kind of spotty here and there. Playmaking pretty good for a wing position, especially because the Magic have basically been running without like a traditional point guard for several years. That they haven't really had a lot of playmakers at the point guard position. They have a lot of scorers typically. So like him and Paolo have been kind of taking on some of those duties, and I think he's pretty good at that. Defense is fine. It's kind of part of the Magic identity, but they have some elite defenders over there in Orlando, and I wouldn't say he's one of the elite defenders, but he's a fine defender. If we're projecting this year, playoff run, first round exit, 7-game series, probably the second best player on the Magic behind Paolo. Um, I could see him having a better year than all the people in B tier. I could see the jump. I'm not saying it'll happen, but it could. So I don't know. I'm kind of in between B and A, but let me hear your thoughts and let's figure it out.
I like him. I like him in the. I'm gonna say I am buying into Franz Wagner. I do like him on the back of A tier. I think
I
this is gonna
watched
be.
the Olympics.
I watched the Olympics, and I mean he did really well in the beginning. Within that last game against France, he was like he was the number one option on on Germany, and he just couldn't make his shots, and that was like the spottiness that we were talking about. And it, I think it was so obvious on a global stage that that's all he's been working on over the summer. At least I hope so. Right? Just being an average shooter, not even saying elite. Like don't be like, not 40% from three, just make 35% of them, and then mid-range just being confident enough to take it. But like you said, I really like his slashing, his quickness, and getting to the hoop. He's very good at that. And I see it from the Magic. I think the Magic are going to be a very good team because of all of this. So I stay back at A tier.
Uh,
I think it's possible.
If you have the Celtics, Knicks, 76ers, and Bucks as your, kind of top four seeds in the East, right? I could see the Magic being a team to upset somebody in the first round, maybe.
I totally, yeah, I absolutely could. They're especially with the off season they had, I think it was really good. So
All things are as it should be. Tell me
wow, it
about
is, yeah, it is
your
my turn.
Los
Los
Angeles,
Angeles
who didn't have a
Lakers.
single person on this chart. So I,
Well,
I had to
every
add LeBron.
everyone hates us because they ain't us. Ah, ha, ha. So LeBron James is going into his 54th year in the NBA,
It's
and
crazy.
it's crazy. So LeBron James, every time we think he's gonna take a dip down, he doesn't, and he just plays better than the year. It's actually insane. LeBron James still one of the one of the best players in the NBA, one of the most dependable. You trust him. One of the better leaders on the team. I mean, he's just so much bigger than a small forward. Like he really does play the point sometimes. He's projected the four, and
Right.
it's just like he can so fluid between those positions. He's can his playmaking is great. He can get downhill to the hoop, even though he's a little bit slower than he used to be, and runs out
Gets
of steam
downhill, does that
quicker.
nasty Euro step,
Yeah, and then he does the shrug at
and
the
then
end that,
complains for a
and then
foul.
complains.
Yeah. Huge LeBron
But
move.
I mean, it's just impossible not to put him in S tier, I think.
It is impossible because he absolutely belongs in the S tier. I was thinking about this, one of my favorite basketball related memes here. This is how I feel about LeBron James.
Oh my
For my listeners out there,
God.
it's a picture of Vince Carter that says, "I got one more in me" for returning for his 22nd season with the Hawks.
Dude, I remember
Um,
when that came out. Like, no way. Absolutely not.
It's so
No,
funny.
you don't, Vince Carter. I'm sorry, I
But
love you,
but
but you
LeBron
don't.
is coming back for season 22.
Yeah.
So perfect, perfect picture for that. And he's still in the S tier, which is insanity. I don't know how the guy does it, man. oldest player in the league again, like they mentioned in media day, which we didn't really talk about for news, but we didn't really have time. We got all this
Yeah.
other stuff going on.
Also, not that much to go, and there's
Right,
just
right.
yeah.
I haven't seen what
Um,
Jimmy Butler's hair is this year. I'll have to look into that.
God, I hope it's not emo, but we'll find out.
Yeah, LeBron, not a lot to say. We complain about how much he's talked about, the Lakers are talked about, but there's a reason for it, and it's because he's one of the greatest, and this will be year number 22 of being one of the greatest, and I don't see him falling off yet. I'm gonna be 1 year late on LeBron. I've given up trying to predict the fall off. It's over.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just
It's
like when like he'll retire, I'll be like he'll probably be S tier next year though.
yeah, yeah. And so yeah, just play it safe because every year we're like, I don't know.
This
He's
could
kind
be
of
the year
slow in the
AD's taking the
playoffs.
torch. No, no, no.
Yeah,
And then it's
they've
like,
been saying
oh,
that for
26, 8, and
5 years.
9. Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
literally. But yeah,
LeBron
that's
James.
LeBron James. Yep.
Guy's been
Yeah.
playing in the NBA since I was 7.
Me
28.
too. Me too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
Tell me about your favorite Charlotte
It's
Hornets.
all about the Josh Green experience. Yeah, so they have Brandon Miller on here, but it looks like he's going to run the 2 this year. Last year, I think we had him at the 3 because it was LaMelo Rozier and then Brandon Miller. No
Mm.
Rozier there, so. And I think they'll plug Josh Green into the 3 here. They got him for basically nothing from the Mavericks. Josh Green, fine NBA player, kind of sometimes started for the Mavs, sometimes came off the bench, sometimes didn't play at all. Don't understand why that happened, but it's pretty good. Good defender, which I think like it's not acknowledged a ton. Like I think he is pretty good. Decision making is not amazing, not a playmaker, not even a great shooter all the time. He's kind of just like a go out there and run around and do some good stuff. That's how I describe Josh Green. Honestly, don't even think like I like Josh Green. I think there's still room for Josh Green to grow. I don't think I like him as much as the guys in the C tier, honestly. I'd put him at like the head of the D tier.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I like Josh Green quite a bit, and I liked what his role was on the Mavericks. It's going to be a little bit different for the Hornets because I feel like
They're
he
the
just has
Hornets.
because they're the Hornets and they're not going to make it to the. I'm going to say it right now, they don't have a chance to make it to the conference finals. I'm just going to say
Oh,
it.
I was like, they could make the play-in. Have you seen those? The East?
No,
They
no,
got
no, no.
some
I
bad
know, no,
teams
no, no,
over
no.
there.
I meant conference finals.
Okay.
No, 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 no. I could see a
That's
world
probably a safe bet.
if everyone's healthy, I could see a world where they make the play in, and who
Yeah, yeah,
knows.
yeah.
But definitely
Yeah,
not the
if.
conference finals. But yeah, I like Josh Green. He's still very young. Plays defense really well. He's I think someone that he's in your rotation you trust, which like he's not very spotty. Like he is going. Sometimes he doesn't make as many threes as you want him to, but he's always going to play good defense and hustle a lot. And I
Yeah,
think that's really good. And I think he can still get better at that. But we'll see what it's like in this new change of scenery for him.
right. Shout out
But
Joshua
yeah,
Green.
he's a good NBA player.
Yeah,
Who
it's 11:40.
I hate.
We have 18 teams left.
All
Sorry,
right,
go
let's
ahead.
get it moving. I was just gonna say, I hated to see him go for the
The
Mavericks, but
Mavs, yeah.
I understood.
All right.
Who
Golden
we got?
State.
Golden
It's
State. Oh, it's
Wiggins.
Andrew
Wiggins.
Wiggins. So remember last year when he was A tier?
Yeah, I don't remember
Um,
that actually.
no,
I
me
don't,
either.
I don't
So
think that
Andrew
happened.
Wiggins, what to say about Andrew Wiggins? Oh my God. Okay,
Really
so
fallen off the wagon lately.
he has fallen off. He wasn't he not
A
even
lot,
in
a
the
lot of personal stuff.
rotation
His dad passed away. Mitchell Wiggins passed away recently.
recently, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a
it's
lot of what
tough.
his personal stuff was over the like dad going through that stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and we we all we can judge is what happened on the court, right? And like last year was as it was one of the worst years that I've seen that I've watched Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
Literally played off the court. Like he wasn't even in the starting lineup, I don't think, right? Or at some
I think
points
he was just
maybe.
out. Like he was just
Yeah.
not playing basketball for a while.
Um, either way, I he was so good in that run for the Warriors
So
in
good.
2022.
That's
Like
why we
that's
had
why
him on
we
the
had him.
freaking
Yeah,
A tier. We thought he was
yeah,
coming back.
yeah. He was, he had these like put back dunks, and he was playing great defense and making these threes and these shots. And um, now Clay's not there, and like you're looking for someone who's going to fill those shoes. Is Andrew Wiggins? Is it going to be Buddy Healed? What's going to happen? I think Andrew Wiggins has been there long enough that I don't think it'd be him. Um, that being said, I have faith. I haven't lost all of my faith in Andrew Wiggins, but I also
This is the year he makes the S tier jump.
this 30-year-old Andrew Wiggins, something like that, right? Yeah. I want to put him on the back of C tier.
Oh wow, that's still low. I didn't think that's pretty low. Um, yeah, it's been tough with Wiggins. It's been a tough roller coaster of emotions. Came in as the number one pick, and the Wolves franchise didn't really pan out. Got traded over here, and he was just fine. And then he had the legendary 2022 Finals run, where if Steph hadn't won a Finals MVP or had yet to win one, he may have been there. But
Yeah.
everyone knew Steph was getting it because he hadn't won one yet, and they were like, we just got to give it to him regardless. Um, he was that good in that Finals, I think. Yeah. Back a C tier. I mean, theoretically, he's a mid-range maestro. He played pretty good defense on Luka Tatum in that playoffs, I remember. But then that was 2 years ago, and I haven't seen it since then. That's the issue, right? Been off the court a lot. Backup C tier.
I
Punt
mean,
of
that's
C tier? Oh my God. Backup C
fine,
tier
fine,
seems
fine.
so bad.
Front of C tier.
Man.
Okay, in front of Dylan Brooks at least.
Uh, all right, we can agree on yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Dylan
okay,
Brooks is
okay.
lucky he's on my team, otherwise he'd be an F tier.
Yeah, like I have to stand up for him.
All right,
Um,
let's
oh
talk
yeah,
about Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr.
yeah.
RJ
Also, I was looking at the depth chart for the Raptors. Who do you think is the starting five? Like just off the top of your head.
Hurdle,
Okay.
right?
No, it's starting five. It's all
Oh,
five. Sorry. Sorry,
oh yeah,
not the
five is the center.
oh yeah, my bad. The five starting players.
Um, hold on. So it'd be Hurdle, Scotty Barnes, RJ quickly, and who is the point guard of the Toronto Raptors? Uh, I was about to say Dennis Schroeder, but he's in the Nets,
Yeah.
which is incorrect.
I think Emmanuel Quickly is the one.
Oh, he's the one.
Yeah.
Who's on that team?
I was trying to remember and I forgot. I didn't agree with what the depth chart was, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
don't
it
think
up right
Grady Dick
now.
will start. I don't think that'll happen.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Bruce Brown. You
Mm,
have Bruce Brown. Why would he? Yeah, they had Grady Dick as the two. Like, why wouldn't it be Bruce Brown at the two, Quickly at the one, RJ Barrett the three, Scotty Barnes four, Hurdle five? Because that's a good starting line.
mhm.
Grady Dick is not starting lineup
I
material. I'm
guess
sorry.
theoretically you could flip RJ and Bruce Brown, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but anyways, RJ Barrett is definitely the three. I just wanted to. I forgot why.
Yeah, I
I
hadn't looked
remember
that
seeing.
far ahead. I've only looked at position by position. I haven't looked at the whole.
Gotcha.
Um,
I just
Makes
saw it. But
sense though.
anyways, yeah. So RJ Barrett, tell me about him.
He came in as the number three guy, number one guy to high school, number three guy to college from Duke in the Zion class, and I think he was okay on the Knicks. I think the expectations were pretty high, and he just didn't quite live up to them. Of course, got traded in the OG Anunoby trade last year, but he actually had a pretty good half season with the Raptors. Pretty underrated season. Has been a pretty good scorer. There were like 3 years in a row in the Knicks where he was like the bottom at finishing at the rim in the league 3 years in a row, which was crazy. How you missing layups and stuff. It was wild. Um, but that last half season at the Raptors has given me some hope for RJ. I think he can come on the up and up. Um, I project RJ Barrett to have a better season than everyone on the C tier, but probably still on the C tier. That's where I'm thinking.
Okay. I want to tell you a stat real quick.
Uh, you're
Um,
bringing stats to the podcast?
well, no, okay, I don't know the stat. I remember this was a stat. Okay. Olympics. Okay.
Mm.
At one point during the Olympics, RJ Barrett was the best player in the Olympics. In the group stage, he had the highest averages across the board. He was making the most points, rebounds, assists out of anybody.
RJ season.
So but then Canada did lose to France, I think, or Germany. I think that's to Germany, which was an upset. They should have won.
Say
S
no
tier,
more.
absolutely. Maple Mamba. I wanted to put him on the back of B tier. I think this is I we're projecting. I really think he's playing in his home country. I
Yeah,
think
he's
he's
basically still
happy.
playing for Team Canada, so
Yeah, I think he's happy. Like I like the fit a lot there, and it seems like he's
their team is kind of
happy.
interesting. I like their team.
I exactly like me too. Like forever, somehow
It's gonna
the
be a great
Raptors,
8 seed.
yeah, somehow the Raptors go through these changes, and I still somehow kind of like them. Like
Mhm.
because I always liked OG and Pascal, and then like I was like, oh man, they got rid of him. I don't know if I'm gonna like him. And I like Bruce Brown. He's
You
still
liked
there.
quickly already on the Knicks,
I
so
like quickly in the Knicks. He got quickly, and you got and like RJ Barrett is like proving pretty good here. Scotty Barnes is right. It's like okay, like you're convincing me. Like I like the Raptors. So I want to say back at B tier. We can say top of C tier, whatever you want to
that's
say.
pretty much the
But
same place.
I'm just shooting. I'm shooting high for RJ Barrett.
Roman now.
Yeah, I just think this is going to be a good environment, good season for him too.
We believe in RJ Barrett.
Exciting. We the North. OKC
Yeah, so
Luguentz
if you don't
Dort.
remember, OKC projected Shea Caruso, J-Dub, Chet Hartenstein, which we said no.
No,
So we have Dort at
absolutely
the
not.
3, who wasn't even mentioned in the starting five, which is criminal behavior because he's like their best defender. And
Yeah.
anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so okay, so Lou Dort, one of my favorite players to watch. I've been watching the Thunder, for a couple of years now, and he's been there for what, like 5 years now,
Mhm.
probably something like that. Well, it's probably one of the longest ones still there. Um, so very also Canadian, just like RJ Barrett. Very good defender, elite defender. Has gotten better offensively too. Has been getting better from the three. Like doesn't really create
What's
for
a
himself.
sniper last year?
Yeah, literally was so good, and I mean a big reason why the Thunder, why they're so confident they're going to be right where they were last year or even better. He's a big piece of that, and I like his game a lot. A little on the shorter side, but he is very quick, even though he's kind of big. He's kind of built
Yeah,
like a
he's
fullback.
bulky.
Yeah, and he can't really get pushed around, which is also really good. I like Lou Dort a lot. I don't know where to put him though. I'm a
Yeah,
little,
our B tier is really throwing me. The
yeah,
B tier
that's what it is.
is
Yeah.
criminal.
It is just like it's tough because like Lou Dort, I trust more than anyone in C tier, but he's also not on the level of like a Bradley Beal star,
Right.
but he's so good at what he does. He's like a perfect role player. He's the
Yeah.
perfect person you want with Shea and like Chet on the team and stuff. So it's like
I would
it's
say, based on the Mavericks finals run, Lou Dort gave Luca the most trouble out of anyone.
I totally agree.
And they played Jaden McDaniels in the Timberwolves. So like I don't. It's his size. It's like the how big he is. Luca's strong and can just like push people out the way.
Yeah.
Not Lou Dort because that guy's
Mm,
pretty big too. Yeah, he's a great defender. I think he was 40% 3-point shooter last year, which is crazy.
yeah.
You said he couldn't. He doesn't really create, which is true because it's a lot of Shea, creating in that offense. But yeah, he fills that role perfectly. I I
I feel
like.
yeah, I feel bad asking you to do it since it was mine. Oh, okay. So he's like a much
I think he has
better,
to be above the C tier.
yeah.
I like him more
But
than RJ. I like him more than Bradley Beal. And then it becomes a question.
so throw him right there. Throw him in front of Bradley Beal.
It's like I probably like him more than Michael Porter Jr. just because the defense is so good. But eh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wish it's so tough to like differentiate like what's more important
These
sometimes.
guys on the B tier are throwing me for like I don't disagree that they shouldn't be here. It's just the reason they're here is so much different than the reason other people are here. So
Exactly. It's
it's
also like I wish we could just throw like no injuries involved because then it wouldn't clear up a lot of things.
I'll
But
just
it's
make it
like
F tier injury tier and put them down there.
I wish. But let's move forward. Maybe we can figure something out. But Lou Dort's a very good NBA player. I'm
It's
excited
getting
for the
late, guys.
Thunder.
We're gonna start getting loopy here in a bit.
Yeah, dude, you don't even know.
The
All right.
Detroit basketball.
Okay. Come on. Okay.
Aswa Thompson is projected as their 3. They have Fontecchio on here, but Fontecchio is like 6'10", I think. He kind of seems like a power forward and not a small forward to me.
Yeah.
Um, Anyways, Sar Thompson, really liked his rookie year last year for the Pistons. He, again, one of those kind of dirty work guys. It's like 3-and-D, except there's no three because he shot 10% from three. Um, but no, his defense is really, really good. He's very athletic, uses that to his advantage on the defensive end. Very like good awareness, basketball intelligence kind of player. So he is very athletic, but I feel like his timing and like pathing and things like that when he's on defense really impact the way he defends. Like he knows when to jump to try to block a shot and things like that. He's not just jumping all willy-nilly with athleticism. So it's like a combination of those things. Um, the issue is he's on the Pistons where nobody knows how to shoot. So he doesn't fit in great in that lineup, but him as an individual defending talent, very like Matisse Thybulle-esque, with a little more athleticism. Looking at what we have here, I do think he'll be better this year than last year. Of course, last year being his rookie year. That being said, I don't know, back a C tier maybe. Like I don't see him being like super good or anything.
Yeah, it's tough for me because it's like I trust Josh Green more than DeAndre Hunter, but then Asar Thompson's like uh
Yeah, I trust him to do one thing.
exactly. It's like having just that one thing. Like I'm cool with Becca C tier.
He's very limited.
Um, yeah, exactly. And like hopefully this year is like maybe the year he kind of adds more to his game. But
I could
for
have
what he
just
is
used
right now,
Amon's picture instead.
yeah, who would know? Oh, we would because of the jersey color. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, I he's gonna get better.
Yeah.
Hopefully for his sake, I hope so.
Hopefully, yeah.
But he is very good at what he does so far. Yeah.
Dun 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 dun
That's all
dun.
I have to say about that.
Chicago! Your favorite
Oh,
Eastern team with the Lithuanian representation.
exactly. Where's Matas Buzalis? Oh yeah, he's not starting.
Right.
Um, so who is it? Is it Josh Giddey?
No, Josh Giddey's going to be the one. Kobe White's going to be the two. Their three is now Zach LaVine.
Oh,
Not,
duh. I'm so
I
sorry.
get Zach LaVine's picture. Is he on here?
I don't think I see him.
I just forgot about him, I guess.
Well, I'll talk about
Yes.
him real quick. So Zach LaVine is coming off an injury. He's a very high paid player. Um,
It's not a good start.
he very high play player, just came off an injury. But I think what people forget, which is I often also forget too, is that before this injury, he was very dependable. He played a lot. So, we're just hoping that this is, something he got fixed and now he can just go back to being what he does, being a very good slasher, very good dunker, very good finisher. Um,
They're
his
the perfect
three
tier for this guy.
Yeah, for real. Um, his three ball has been a little spotty, though it's a bit more dependable than some other people we've mentioned. He's a very good NBA player. He's getting older and coming off an injury, so we're projecting. So at any other time, I'd probably put him in the A tier, but because of the situation in the Chicago too, like where is he going to end up? He's not going to be there too much longer, I don't think. Um, but as of right now, like he's definitely B tier, but I mean, is he? I probably put him behind Chris Middleton.
That's exactly what I was thinking, young man. Um,
Ah, yeah, yes, young man, yes.
yeah, the B tier for the injury tier, perfect for Zach LaVine coming off an injury where he was maybe going to be healthy, and then he found out he could get traded to the Pistons. He said, "Actually, I'm injured for the whole season. Sorry, no thanks." But yeah, he was an all-star in the Bulls, very talented scorer. Has added the three to his game over the years. Wasn't a part of his game when he first got there. He used to just be run and dunk man. Then he became run and dunk and shoot man. Defense definitely leaves some stuff to be desired, but um, primary scoring option on the Bulls before DeMar DeRozan got there and did a pretty good job of it. And hopefully he can come back healthy and be okay. Their team's going to be kind of weird. Giddy, Kobe
Yeah,
White, Levine, Patrick Williams, Vucevic. It's a nasty starting five, but he, talent-wise is probably the best player there. And
yeah,
we'll see. I think this is a fine placement for him
yeah,
because he's a fine NBA player that is maybe misutilized.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Versus
when he
other
gets
people
when
in
he
the
gets
B
to
tier.
his next, yeah, when he gets to his next team, I'm sure it'll
He's
be
a
a little
rules
bit
lifer.
better, but we'll see. He's already somewhere else. He's already somewhere else. All
All
right.
right, the
All
Dallas
right.
Mavericks and Klay Thompson, who traditionally is a shooting guard, but of course with Luka and Kyrie, he's going to be starting at the three this year. Um, what do I do with this? Klay is washed. We gotta throw that out there, man. Uh, the amount of times I'm watching Warriors basketball, it's too much, first of all, but they've just been so in the playoffs in my basketball viewing lifetime that I end up watching them a lot. And the amount of times I'm like, okay, Clay, are we going to take this contested 3-point jump shot now with 20 seconds on the shot clock? That's a decision. And that happens a lot. And you have Steph Curry on your team. It's strange. Hopefully, he doesn't do that with Luka and Kyrie. Um, yes, I know he wants to get shots. Yes, I know he missed 2 years from an ACL and Achilles tear back-to-back years. Wanted to come back, play basketball. Um, I just he has to adjust. He cannot be Russell Westbrook. He cannot go somewhere and be 35 years old and still try to run the offense and not fit in. He has to adjust his game accordingly. He's not the second best shooter or whatever people were saying around the Splash Bros when they're in their prime. He's not that guy anymore. Yes, he's still a shooter. Yes, he's still very talented. He just has, if he can catch and shoot some open threes instead of dribbling around and taking some contested threes, that'll be great. He used to be a really, really, really good defender in his prime. He's older now, and the double leg injury, not as quick on his feet anymore, of course. But he's still pretty good. Um, that being said, looking at this list, it's like I don't know. I kind of view like Clay is in like the Wiggins realm right now. Like they just don't play a lot, and when they did play, it was like, oh God. Uh, wha- but I hope he has a better year with the Mavericks. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I was thinking right behind Cam Johnson.
Oh yeah, okay. So
Yeah, just because
you're agreeing with me.
I want to put him in the B tier, but I just can't at
Yeah, we already
this
have too many guys up
moment
there. Come
in
on.
time. That's a big part of it. But also, I just trust everyone else in front of him more right now, and we're projecting. So it's like,
Right.
um, that's just what his situation is right now. And I agree with everything you said. I really hope this is a year that he can really be like an obvious third option for the um, Mavericks and really help them. I think he can be like that kind of veteran presence. Kyrie already is that, championship experience and whatnot, but a bit more to like culture, bringing a bit of that like I don't know, like we're going to be a winning team. Let's go win instead of just like oh shit, we're winning. Oh, okay, cool. I feel like it's like no, we're going to be a winning team. Let's just like I feel like he can bring that and some confidence,
Right.
but hopefully he can just play that well.
Hopefully not too much self-confidence though.
Yeah. All right, only 1,500 more teams to go.
We got 12 left.
Ooh, amazing. All right, Desmond Bain, Desmond
Yeah.
Bain,
Yeah.
Desmond Bain,
They had like
Australian.
GG Jackson
Wait,
on here.
no, he's not Australian, right? Didn't we talk about this? I just keep thinking he's Australian, but he's not.
Is he not
Um,
Australian? I don't know where he's from.
I keep
He
forgetting.
went to TCU, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I feel like I keep forgetting.
I'll look it up while
Um,
you talk about him.
okay, cool. Desmond Bain, he going into his third or fourth year. Last year without John Morant on playing, he was very good. Even the year before, he had a very big jump and very good 3-point shooter. Pretty good defender, can be better. Can get to the rim, very athletic, can dunk. Um, Very young, fits really well in the Grizzlies. I like him a lot. I want to put him in the B tier for Bane. Um, but
You're the bane of my
maybe
existence, I can tell you that.
for real. I mean, like maybe behind Zach Levine.
Mm, hmm
You want to throw him in A tier?
mm. I love Desmond Bain.
I know you do. Is he Australian?
He's from Richmond, Indiana. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know where I got that from.
I'm just
It's
making
stuck in
stuff
my
up.
head
You're
now.
gaslighting me into thinking he's Australian.
No, I said I don't know if he is. I wasn't like I was gonna be like, yeah, he definitely is.
I know you said it, and I was like, yeah, sounds good. Um, yeah, so Bane playing the three because Ja and Marcus Smart are going to be the front or the back court rather. Um, The man has the smallest wingspan, but can shoot the heck out of the ball. It's crazy. And it's interesting last year with all the guys injured, and he ended up suffering an injury too. But before that injury, I was like, he was the guy. I was like, okay, I thought it could have been Jaren, but it was Desmond Bane. He was really, really good for them. Um, and I think he can continue to do that. He showed some secondary creation, showed the shooting. He is a decent defender. He's kind of bulky as well for his size. I really like his role on the Grizzlies. And yeah, I could see him with them all coming back together and having this year. I feel like he could be one of the guys that is doing really well. Yeah, I was honestly thinking back of A tier just because I this B tier is killing me. I don't know. I like it's like you got all the guys that I want to put in A tier but are always injured, and then you have like Lou Dort. I'm like, I like Desmond Bane more than Lou Dort, like
Yeah.
more than RJ. So
Yeah, I'm cool with Becca A tier. I had a feeling you wanted him
this
higher.
is gonna be a weird looking tier list.
Yeah, we'll adjust a little bit.
I'm gonna rename this one to A but injured, and then put B tier below
Yeah, below. Yeah, exactly.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
It's
God. Okay, cool. I got to talk about the Wizards. Oh no, you're gonna
no,
talk
I
about the
get to talk about
Wizards.
the Wizards and
Oh, I'm
Corey
so
Kispert,
jealous.
baby. We're back. Corey Kispert, I fought for you to be on this damn tier list because they wanted Kuzma at the small forward and Sarr at the power forward, and I said no, no, no. And then this list had Bilal Coulibaly, which I guess he could be the small forward, but he's I don't know, maybe like I figure he's like a backup four. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Corey Kispert, let me tell you about him. He's like Joe Harris, basically. You know Joe Harris? All right, that's Corey Kispert. They're the same player. They're a small forward, white guy that can shoot the ball. Although Corey Kispert kind of has a little playmaking bag. I don't know. He can do that. Um, I noticed we're nicer this year. We're not throwing a lot of people in the F tier, but I really don't think that these are F tier talents. Maybe that's why.
I don't think so either.
So Corey Kispert, I like more than DeAndre Hunter. I think I like him more than Josh Green, and that's where it ends. So
I was literally thinking in front of D tier. So perfect.
Corey Kispert, this is for you,
This
as
is for
LeBron once famously said.
you. Always.
Um,
Always. I have nothing to add. A
you don't want
white
to
guy.
you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk
Are
about
you
Corey
are you
Kispert.
really gonna make that a thing? A tier but injured?
I don't know. Should I? What do you think?
I mean, it'd be funny.
It's just I really hate what's going on here. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. And then that'll be B.
Is Michael Porter Jr. B or is he A but injured?
I wanted A, but I think you said B. You want to put it in front of B? I can live with that.
Um. Oh no, that's the same color. What? They really limit your color options on this.
Well,
Is
yeah, I
that a
mean,
different color than this? That's like the same color. It's a different color, but it's like the same color.
I love this.
I'll make it blue. Yeah, we don't have any blue rep, so
There we go. Cool.
this
Uh,
feels much better.
this is good. This is good.
I
Yeah,
like I like this a lot.
let us move forward. So, okay, basically we just moved so everyone can if you're not
If you're not
listening,
watching, you're really
if you're not
confused.
yeah, if you're not watching, we moved we made A tier, then we have A tier but injured because they have an injury history. They made a B tier below that. So A tier but injured is Chris Middleton, Zach LaVine, Brandon Ingram, Bradley Beal, and then B tier is Michael Porter Jr., Lou Dort, and RJ Barrett.
Did you see
And
what
who
team
did
it
I
was? I
get?
already forgot.
Was it Jazz? I think it was Jazz.
It was the
No, it
Kings.
wasn't. Oh, cool.
DeMar!
DeRozan delivers.
DeMar
So
DeRozan to D tier.
the
Go
fit
ahead.
is going to be very interesting in Sacramento.
It is.
That's what
It
I want
is.
to
It'll
say.
be strange.
But DeMar DeRozan's a very good NBA player. One of the most clutch players. Did he
Bitch.
win last year? No, he didn't. Steph Curry won.
Yeah.
Um, but he was in the
Bastards.
running. He is a mid-range. He's a mid-range aficionado.
Maestro.
He That's better. Mid-range
Alliteration.
maestro.
I think that's a
He
badge on 2K.
It sounds right. He can make threes when the game depends on it, but don't depend on him making it in the just in the middle of the game.
Only
Um,
if there's 1 minute left.
oh, there's 1 minute left, then you can trust him. Um, He's getting older. Doesn't defend as well, but what he does well is he's just an offensive machine. Um, what'd you move Desmond Bain to be?
Because now that the A tier but injured exists, I'm more okay with not putting him in A tier.
Okay. So DeMar DeRozan is tough for me because I'm thinking about the fit and we're projecting how good he's going to be. So he has De'Aaron Fox, got Sabonis. Um, Keegan Murray helps with the spacing. Um, God, I my gut wants to go back of A tier, but I feel like he's more of a front of B tier. He doesn't get injured, so he doesn't fit in the A but injured.
Right.
What are your thoughts?
DeMar DeRozan is a hooper's hooper. You know, if you're a hooper, you love DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Um, Incredible scorer, clutch player, like you mentioned. Not any amazing thing on defense. But I like him. He's old. He's going to be like 35, 36, but I this Kings team has so many players that I like, and he is one of them. And I was thinking A tier. I hold DeMar to the standard. I think he's very good.
Yeah.
He's like the best guy on a team that's constantly the ninth seed, so I don't know if that's great for him, but uh maybe it's the rest of the team's fault. I don't know. Um I just like him as a player a lot.
Yeah, put him on the back of A. I like him up there. That's what
He only
I
has a
want him.
couple years left. I gotta get
Yeah.
I gotta put him there while I can. This might be the
Yeah.
last time.
He also just wrote a book, so I think I'm gonna read that.
DeMar, DeRozan, DeReeds.
The reads a books.
Yay. This is chaos. This is
Organized chaos.
unfiltered absurdity.
Tell
Cleveland.
me about Max Strus.
Yeah, so the tier list had Isaac Okoro and Karis LeVert, and I was like, neither of those are right. It's maximum Strus. Yeah, Max Strus is interesting. Apparently according to the NBA at the number one play last year. I disagree. It wasn't even on my top 10. Uh, but he's one of those guys that came from nothing. Now in the NBA, he can shoot the ball. He can he plays hard defense. I won't necessarily say it's great defense, but there's a lot of effort there, which is nice to see because sometimes guys don't put any effort in. So thank you, Maxters, for putting effort in always. Um, Kind of short for a three. He's like 6'5", I think. So average. Like he can shoot the ball. He can play good defense. I do think he's better than all the D tier guys. I actually think he's better than I want to say a lot of C tier guys, three or four of them at least. I kind of see him, in the Cam Johnson. I think he had a better season than Clay, but it's tough. I don't know because we're projecting, and Clay could have a rebirth here in the Mavs uniform. It's tough. It's tough to see, but I definitely think he's at least above Wiggins. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, and the more I look at this, the more I want to put like Neesmith back a B tier, if I'm being honest. But we don't
You
have
get
to.
you get promoted. I don't
Um,
that
yeah, and then I like Struce behind Cam Johnson.
because I like the Neesmith. I think more than these other guys in the C tier has the growth potential.
Exactly. That's what we're
I feel like these
projecting.
guys are
Yeah.
pretty flatlined, and then Asar is here, but like Asar, like we said, he does one thing.
hmm
He,
He does
he
one thing elite, but it's
he
like,
can't play on the other side of the ball.
yeah, it's like I like really like really right now he is in the D tier, but I think he is going to get up to C tier and even higher throughout his career. I mean, he's gonna be a second year player, so
Right.
I'll give him a little break.
I'm liking this
Um,
tier list more and more.
I know, me too.
The
I
Aben injury
love
really changed everything.
Ava injured means everything to me. We're gonna get that shirt, Ava
Pl
injured.
Please watch the show. If you're listening and you're confused, we're confused too. But
We're no
uh,
longer
actually,
confused.
no one makes it this far in the podcast. That doesn't even matter if it's our average view
No,
duration is like 4 minutes. We
yeah,
don't even make it through the intro.
yeah, but that's No, because it's other ways. Because you're looking at Spotify, but they listen on other
I
things.
was looking at YouTube. I don't know. I don't think I can listen to duration on
Oh,
Spotify.
because Spotify, it's every they listen to the whole thing.
Is it?
What's the next team?
Okay. You're like, please get me out of here.
I'm so sweaty and I have to pee so bad.
Uh, we only have 8 teams left. Don't worry.
No, I know.
Boston, this
I'm
is
not
for
worried.
you.
This is for you.
I'm gonna say it for
Is it
every
Jalen
Wisconsin team.
Brown?
It is JB.
Jalen Brown's an S tier for sure. He's coming off finals championship, finals MVP. I for a long time I like Jason Tatum more. I like Jalen Brown more now, for sure. Um,
Anti-Nike agenda.
that's exactly right. I am an Adidas boy through and through. I have an Adidas
You know,
tracksuit.
tracksuit. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen it.
I like Jalen Brown,
All right, good.
S tier, but behind LeBron James.
As I say, is he above or below LeBron? You think LeBron will have a better season than Jalen Brown? Probably. Uh,
Yeah, I do.
LeBron,
But yeah,
and let me tell you why though. It's because LeBron has to do more.
yeah,
Jalen Brown is on such a good team. He doesn't have to have 27, 8, and 8 for them to be a good team. Because he has the
yeah.
Tatums and the Drews and the Derrick Whites of the world to help him out. LeBron's like, all right, Anthony Davis is me and you.
Yeah, and we're not tier listing his rapping because his rapping's F tier for sure.
Yeah,
But basketball, and I mean,
he's
he can do offense at all three levels. He's a very good defender. Um, it's everything you'd want in a basketball player, basically.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, Desmond Bain and Michael Porter Jr. the same tier as RJ and Eastman. It's making me think a little more.
We can't keep adding tiers.
B minus tier.
Oh my God.
Utah and their all-star 7 foot small forward Laurie Mark.
This is for
Uh,
you.
Utah. Yeah. The finisher, as they call him. Laurie Markkinen served his country well a couple summers ago. Cut his hair off. Remember that? That was crazy.
I do remember that,
Send
yeah.
me that picture. I was like, what? What is
What is it? If
this?
I was doing blackface, I was like, nope, he's just doing camouflage.
Laurie Markkinen is somehow, I think, still underrated. He is a 7 foot creator, like a, but it's like I don't know. He's not a small forward, but he's playing small forward because Utah doesn't know what they're doing, just like the Cavs didn't know what they were doing, and somehow Laurie Markkinen makes it work and makes an all-star team. Good shooter, good scorer, not an amazing defender. Overall, I would say he's not quite S tier material, definitely A tier though.
Yeah, I I think Franz Wagner is a little high.
Franz Wagner, yeah,
But I don't know
he's
where
up
else to
there.
put him. I don't know where else to put
Put
him.
him right here, right here.
You sure?
Yeah, I like Lou Dort a lot. Defense
Okay.
is important to me.
I totally agree. I like Larry Markin. I put him behind DeMar DeRozan just because I think DeMar has like the experience aspect, but Larry Markkinen is a very good basketball player. And you know why he's underrated? Because he's in Utah.
Jaden
He's only
McDaniels kind of
played
high
in
too now. He's up there
Jaden McD I mean,
above this guy that has made an all-star team like last year.
okay, throw him on the back of A tier. He's still A tier though.
Okay, Lori, this is for you.
Okay, let's go.
It's that
I'm gonna be in
time.
charge of the wheel next time. It's just gonna be spinning it the whole time.
All right, San Antonio Spurs.
Oh,
Is it you or
oh,
me?
it's me. God, who's it? Who's the
It's Harrison
Spurs?
Barnes.
Harrison Barnes. Oh my God, Harrison Barnes. What can I say about Harrison Barnes? We've reached that point. It has happened. We're deep in it. What do you want? He makes threes. What can I say? I like Harrison Barnes a lot on the Spurs.
You have said I like this guy a lot 1,000 times during these tier
Dude,
lists. You
dude,
start off every player with I like this player a lot.
that's our t-shirt. I like this a lot. I like podcasting a lot. Harrison Barnes makes threes. He used to be a really good defender. Now he's a pretty good defender. He's getting up there in age,
Pretty good.
but I want to put him like front of C tier.
Harrison, this is for you. Yeah.
He's
Um, I agree. I like Harrison Barnes. He is the most C tier player, like it's like that's a C tier player right there. Like there as soon as like thought about Harrison Barnes, I was like, yep, C tier. It's
Yeah,
average.
literally.
Fine.
Yeah,
Yep, moving on. I
yeah.
don't have anything else to say. He's just an average
Good
guy.
player. I like him. I'm just saying it now because I say it.
Los Angeles Clippers. This is
This
for
is
you.
for you.
They're
Imagine
starting
saying
small
the
forward,
team.
Derrick Jones Jr., I think. Um,
Yeah, I think
which is
so.
interesting. Interesting player. He had a pretty good, year in Dallas, being more utilized. Kind of a point of attack defender, lob threat for Luka in the pick and roll. I don't. Harden does do lob threats. That was a big part of his game when he was in Houston. And with Kawhi maybe out at the beginning of the year, I don't know if that's going to be something they go to. Um, but Derrick Jones Jr. is a fine NBA player. Uh, C tier, somewhere in there. I don't know where, but he's in the C tier somewhere.
I think I want to put him. It's Cam Johnson and Struce. I'm like, is he better than Struce or better than Clay? Like,
I think he's better than Shoes.
yeah, but I think m maybe maybe behind Cam Johnson, just because I like his 3-point shooting. And Derrick Jones Jr. had a very good 3-pointing year, but years prior he did not. So I
Yeah,
just don't know how
definitely not
like
at the volume of a Cam Johnson
trustworthy.
either.
Exactly. Yeah. But God, I like him a lot, and I wasn't even joking. I was gonna say that.
I told you.
Jesus.
Now you're thinking about it.
Ah. All right. Who's next?
Oh, I didn't know if you
Come
were
on.
gonna say more words. You didn't say anything
No,
about Derrick Jones Jr.
Derrick. I said I like him a lot. What
Oh,
more do
okay.
you want from me?
That's my bad.
There you go.
Tell me about
Uh,
Denny Avdia.
Denny, is it Avdia or Avdia?
It's probably Avdia.
Okay, whatever. It's 10:18. I'm over.
It's
I'm loopy. So Denny Avdia,
12:18 for me.
I know. You don't have to remind me. I'm here with you. Sorry. I'm so
Why are
sorry.
you making like strangling hand?
I know it was more to me. I
I
was
want to
like,
kill you.
I want to kill what I don't know his game as much. You might know it a little bit better, but I feel like if I remember is good mid-range,
Yeah.
can kind of play make as well a
Yep.
little bit.
Yep.
Not a shooter though.
Not a shooter. Pretty good defender.
Pretty good defender. And I like that he's in a new change of scenery, and
Yes.
when players do that,
Out
I
of
like
Washington. Thank
fine.
God.
Yeah, to Portland, way better. But I just
It's
like
anything is better than the Wizards.
sure. I do like the change of scenery for him. I think he'll get more opportunity because they traded for him.
Mm.
So I think they want to utilize him. So because of that, I want to put him back at B tier.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking I could see the jump from Denny this year. I would like to pose though, after moving Desmond Bain back down here and seeing all the other guys here, that I want to move him back to the A tier. I'm
Yeah,
like, wait
that's
a
fine.
minute,
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
I know
belong
that's
down
why I
here.
was like, why?
And like I feel like there's almost like a line of demarcation after Lou Dort here.
I
But
agree because Franz Wagner is not a C tier player, but he's not like up there with them yet. And
yeah,
also RJ Barrett, like they're getting there. They're so close, you know?
how about this? Or do you hate that?
Um, I don't hate that. I like Lou Dort a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lou Dort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lou
that
Dort,
maybe the
get your
small
bag.
forward position is just not that talented. Maybe that's what's going on here. Because we got a big C tier here,
Yeah.
and we're just trying to
No, we've
space it out,
got
trying to spread the love.
yeah, no,
The
we
New
love
York
that.
Knickerbockers. So with their trade, we're projecting their starting lineup to be, let me read it off for you. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart at the 4, and Cat at the 5. That's what it has on ESPN. So
Yeah.
we're not going to rank Josh Hart. We already moved past power forwards. We ranked Randall. Okay, it happened. Get over it. We're not going back for him. So we're going to do OG because that's more interesting to me.
Yeah.
OG is very good. He is very similar to Jaden McDaniels and Suma and some in terms of shooter, defender, max player now, which is crazy. Um, he tried to give it a go in the playoffs when his wearing leg braces, look like an offensive lineman in the NFL. It's crazy. And it didn't work. But he's very talented. There is you know what? There's some injury concerns. Can I say that? We have some injury concerns
Oh God.
with OG Anunoby. So
Well, I wonder where he's gonna end up.
I'm kind of thinking there's a tier for that here on this tier list. And I kind of think talent-wise, he's not Middleton, Levine, Ingram, but I like him more than Michael Porter Jr. and Bradley Beal.
I I couldn't agree more with you. I
Maybe it's
couldn't.
not A but injured, talented but injured.
I like that. I like that.
Its own little tier, right in between
Someone
A and
little
B
tier,
tier.
yeah. It wouldn't be right just to like have it.
Because then that means like what we have 30 people in A tier. That's ridiculous. So
Yeah, come on.
wow, we're innovative here at Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
We are. Who's next?
I'm spinning the wheel, okay?
I know.
You didn't say anything
I
about
couldn't see
OG.
it. I couldn't see it. I like OG Anunoby.
You
What
like him a
else do
lot?
you want me to say? I like him a lot. God.
Tell me
I have
about
to talk about Jimmy
James Butler.
Butler. James William Butler. Not his middle name. Maybe it is, I don't know. Jimmy Butler's old. Um, but
So true.
so true. How much longer is he going to be in Miami? I don't know. I think he fits well there, but I don't know if he wants more money and all that kind of stuff. But he's getting older, still dependable when he's not injured. So
Oh
I
no.
think there's a tier we made for
Oh
that.
no.
Um, but he's someone that you want on your team because you trust him and he plays like with like tenacity and like the hustle and his heart and like his
Yeah.
heart's in it because he enjoys the game. Um, but I think he's getting older and he's just not as good as he was. And yeah, you trust him in the clutch, but um, I mean that's mostly about it. Pretty good, very good defender, mid range, can't shoot at
With
all
that
really.
garbage Heat team in the finals twice. That's crazy.
I know. So
Um,
I
not
respect
this year.
that, but not this year. There's no way.
Uh,
Um,
do we have a new face of talented but injured? A new head of talented but injured? Oh,
you think so? You think he's there?
it's either him or Middleton. He's definitely above all these guys.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm thinking, let's put him in front of Middleton. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Or if you don't think he's injured enough, then we can just like slide him up here somewhere in the A
Uh,
tier probably, right? He's probably
no,
lost the S tier step, you know?
oh, for sure. I definitely think he's injured.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the second largest tier on the tier is the talented but injured, right? One player behind the C tier.
yeah. Well,
That's crazy.
tell me about the last player we got.
76ers. Okay, their starting small forward is who? I already forgot.
Paul George.
Thank you. Uh, Forgot he signed there. Dude, Paul George is a great NBA player. I like him a lot.
I like it. How much do you like?
No, seriously though, Paul George, yeah, really has carried the Clippers on their back in the base of Kawhi's constantly being talented but injured. Um, and it's tough. It's tough for Paul George. He got a bad rap. He got pandemic peed. He got side of backboard peed, but he came back. He brought him to the first conference finals ever by himself against the Utah Jazz. And then they lost to the Suns tragically. That was the called game, right? Like today or yesterday. Patrick Beverly pushing Chris Paul in the back.
Oh, that was yesterday. Yesterday's,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was funny. Um, Paul George, I think, even though he is older, still belongs at the back of S tier.
I agree with you. I can finally like Paul George, which is
You're,
my
you're
favorite
allowed to
part
like
about
him now.
all of this. Yeah, great shooter, great mid range. Even though he's getting older, he's still very much dependable, and the fit on the 76ers is almost flawless, I'd say. So, um, I saw them at media day, all three, Tyrese Maxey, Embiid, and George, all smiles. Looks like I'm excited when I saw them all together. It made me excited to watch them this season. So, definitely S tier player. I do like LeBron and Jaylen Brown a little bit more.
Yeah,
Because LeBron's got the experience, obviously the 2,000 years of experience, and Jaylen Brown's coming off a championship
ageless LeBron.
and he's younger. So yeah, but I actually I like our tier list quite a bit.
This is a crazy tier list. I was just reading back to the whole thing and I was like, wow, this is wild. Do you wanna
What?
go over it for the listeners that aren't here anymore?
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So S tier, we got LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, and then Paul George.
A tier, we have DeMar DeRozan, Larry Markkinen, Jaden McDaniels, Desmond Bane, Lou Dort.
In the talented but injured tier, we have Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton, Zach LaVine, Brandon Ingram, OG Anunoby, Michael Porter Jr., and Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I like that a lot. B tier, we have Franz Wagner, RJ Barrett, Aaron Nesmith, Deni Avdija.
C tier, we got Harrison Barnes, Cam Johnson, Derrick Jones Jr., Max Strus, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Dylan Brooks, and Asar Thompson.
And then in the D tier, we have Corey Kispert, Josh Green, and DeAndre Hunter, which we may have started this list with. And he ended up being the lowest, which is
Yeah,
kind of
and in
crazy.
the F tier, we don't have anyone, which is interesting.
Yeah, crazy how
Um,
that happens, huh?
yeah, that is wild. But it's interesting because if you get rid of the talented but injured tier, it would just be B tier. But I don't like saying that they're B tier talents
Yeah,
because they're not. They definitely are A tier talents.
yeah. And then I don't think these
But
guys are C and these guys are D and these guys are F. Like that just feels wrong.
exactly,
I
yeah,
feel
I
good
actually,
about this,
yeah, I like that quite a
which I
bit.
think is important. It's important that I feel good about it.
It's important we both feel good about it, and I sure do feel good about it.
What a
Uh,
great job we did here today.
I can't wait to look back on this next year and be like, we were terrible. What were we thinking?
This our one last year was really bad, but it could be something similar where we were just abiding straight by the tier list rules and today
Yeah.
we innovated.
I like that. And I think that's important is to innovate and pivot, like not just to stay in our own cage,
Yeah,
not
we're
to
we're we're doing things here. We're making moves.
we're making moves a two-man
I'm
game.
gonna set this as my desktop
ESPN,
background.
ESPN, listen up, make it your desktop background. But yeah, if you made it this far, I know you did. Thank you for sticking around and listening to us ranking every starting small forward.
We're doing
Just
God
makes me
work.
it just makes me more excited for the season every
Oh
time we
yeah,
do it.
we
Every
have
time
shooting
we like
guards, point
the fact
guards.
I never realized I know so many people and their names. I don't watching basketball again made me realize how much I know about other people besides like that aren't personally in my life, I thought
One of my
that's
old schools,
interesting.
I always had the student because of course this is when I taught theater. I always had the student that would walk up and just ask me like random players and would ask me who they play for. And like to the student it was random, but like he'd be like, "Do you know who Kyrie Irving's on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
But then like he started to try to get like really like I think Jamal Crawford's last year. He was like, "Do you know who Jamal Crawford's on?" I was like, "Yeah, he's on like the Nets right now, right?" And he's like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like, "Because I know basketball."
That's so funny. What I like to do with my coworkers, during the season, I would say, man, I really want to see like Clippers Pacers. And then they say, I don't even know anyone on the Pacers. And then I don't even know where the team is.
You
And I say,
start
I bet I can name every player on their roster. And I get usually really close. It's like only the
every
very
player.
obscure
Yeah,
one.
those end of bench guys. You
And
get
the bench
lost on
guys are
those guys.
hard, but like I get really close and I impress everyone at
They're like,
work.
"Oh wow, he's so knowledgeable." And you
This guy's
say,
way cooler than I
"Listen to
thought.
my podcast, huh? How about that?"
And they go, wait, how long is each episode? And I go, ooh,
Listen to
oh.
parts. Skip around, skim through.
I wish
Hey,
we
I
had
like long
chapters.
form content. Okay, we have too much short form content in the world. Too much of 10-second TikToks and blah 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 blah.
Oh, let's get on our soapbox. Let's do this.
I
Let's talk about it.
like. I drive a lot. Okay, and even when I'm cleaning, even when I'm playing college football on my PlayStation 5, I want to listen to something else. I want to listen to college football on my PlayStation. So I like having podcasts because I'm not always in a music mood, and I like having long form things to listen to. I don't want to click through a bunch of short things.
I mean, 10 seconds is crazy. I like long form sometimes. I think once you get past, I think I told you, like past the hour and a half mark for me, that's when I'm like, I just get so fatigued.
I
And
mean,
usually
not
I'll
in
like,
one sitting.
right. But even then, like, I'm like, sometimes I don't even finish the episode once I get to like an hour and a half. That's just how I am though. But
I should have
here at
realized you
two
were a
man
loser.
game, here at two man game, we do all of the above. except 10 seconds. We do at least an hour
We
usually.
don't do we
Yeah.
probably should have clips, and then that draws people. That's how it works, right? You make clips short
Yeah. And
form, and
then
then
people are like,
people.
oh, maybe I should listen to this. But you know
I'm
what?
not gonna do that because I
I
don't
don't
know how.
have time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's part of it too.
Yeah. Anywho,
Cat in the Garden. That's what this title is gonna start with, and then ranking small forwards.
I like that. That's a good one. All right. Well, this has been two-man game. Could you take the shot,
Oh yeah,
please?
where's my ball? You're like, please
Grab
let
your
me go,
ball.
please.
Grab your
I'm a
ball.
hostage. It's a hostage situation
He's
going on
got
here.
he's got me.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
see.
he's
Let's see.
taking the shot. He's taking this.
Yeah.
At least you didn't hit the ceiling, I don't think.
At least I
So
didn't throw it over there. That's
yeah, at least you didn't knock
that
over all your
was
pops and your
hilarious.
decorations. Um,
So good.
but yeah, thanks again everybody for listening and sharing it, and we really appreciate it. We're excited for the basketball. I hope you are too. This has been Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Listener, this is for you. Buckets.